the mods and other things.
Yep.
So what are you, 1.25 to 1 odds? So column F? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be ugly. Okay. So...
Yeah. And then we have 1 shift for prepared assault, 1 shift for artillery.
Yes. And one shift for adjacent defender.
Yeah, and 1 for the entrenchments.
So it's a push.
The commander removes 1 entrenchment EP effect.
No,
it's forts.
Only forts.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not, but their PR is pretty impressive. 9 against 5. That's gonna be plus 20 for the commandos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we have ribs.
For the
but isn't there on a table 1 shift to the right, defensive work, if any size commando unit is an elite unit? It's a 3rd modifier from the bottom.
Where are you reading?
The shifts, attacker shifts.
Are you on the table or are you in the rules?
I'm on my printout table here.
Okay, I just want to follow along.
Yeah, so defensive works if any size commando unit is lead unit 1 to the right, it says.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay.
Where does it say that? I'm trying to find I'm on their fire support mission table, no wonder. Where is the...
Ground assault procedure, step 5. Shifts favorable to the attacker.
All right, so let's see here. Shifts favorable to the attacker.
3rd from the bottom.
Why can I not find? I got the retreat procedures. I got too many charts. Air operations procedures, construction procedures. Too many procedures. Stacking procedures, air operations, fire support. Oh, it's the small one here. Okay. Let me look here.
So how many shifts so far for the Allies and how many shifts for the Axis so far?
2 left for the Axis.
Okay.
It's not in the rules, but it's in the latest...
I want to look at the rules up real quick to make sure that's not an error on the chart.
I think it's in the new ones, Lucky Forward.
Yeah, in the Lucky Forward ones.
So there's a section on commandos in the front, if I remember it, like section 4 or something. There we go, page 12. It's been a while since I've cracked this rule book. Commandos. Yeah, look at 4.6.6, page 12. I think the chart's in error. Second bullet, letter A.
Points.
Oh, sorry. So C13.74C for engineering capable. Let's look at 13.74. You might be right. It's so long. It's so unusual to use them because they usually just get smashed. Yes, the DWs or town and city hexes. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, it counts. So it's going to be what, one net positive shift for the British?
So what do we have in the defense?
Well, there's the adjacent defender.
Yeah, and where do we end up now? Because now there's been a lot of discussing back and forth here.
I think it's even.
Well, no, the attacker has a PA, which is 1 shift. There's an artillery shift on the German. That's another shift favorable to the attacker. 1 adjacent defender knocks it down by 1. And that's it.
Yes.
You have the commandos leading as well, 1 right.
Well, but that cancels
negated
the
by
IP.
the IP.
I didn't count the IP. I just pushed it out. So
G column then.
Net 1, yeah.
No, that would be 3 for the Allies.
Yeah,
And 2 left for the defenders.
Yeah, so
there's
1
plus
positive. Yeah, so column G now.
Column G. Okay. So let's then look at the modifiers.
Combat reserve. Anyone?
Yep. You have one up here.
Okay.
So we take that one. So that's a +5.
I think
Then we have the full strength commando leading is 9.
Against their 5. That's a +20. So that's 25 so far, +25.
Yep.
Rib.
Germans get 2 ribs.
Is that a 2-step unit?
Yes.
Both of them are. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Nobody's on a hill, are they? No.
Yeah, and the
Low
tank
end.
unit doesn't count.
So you had a -10. That brings us back down to 15, +15.
That's 15, yes.
Yep.
How about armor? Nothing.
Nothing. Nope.
Okay. So we are at +15 for the allies on the roll for
Yeah.
both.
Okay. So then I roll for the allies.
Nice.
Ooh.
83.
Star 1.
So, yep, star 1.
Who's rolling for the Germies?
I can roll. I roll for the Germans.
Oh, nice. 19. That's going to hurt. 2 parentheses 1.
Yeah, then he has to lose 1. Do we record that one somewhere?
Yes, I will.
Oh, that hurts. Well, we'll see.
The attacker has 2 discretionary hits that have to be resolved. And then the Germans can, I guess the Germans can roll to see if they have pass their proficiency check on the star. Pass.
And then I have to retreat 1 hex there, I see.
Well, you could retreat into, can you retreat into an IP or only an ET? I forget.
And the entrenchments, that the number 4 commando can retreat into the entrenchments, I guess.
Yes, either IP or entrenchment. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. So then I can retreat into the fieldworks here.
You still have 1 other discretionary hit to resolve for both those guys.
Yep.
Here's a hit. Here's a hit. Take the fatigue.
Okay. Now we let one of the commanders go then.
You got to kill one.
Yeah,
Fatigue?
they were flipped already. Okay. I can fatigue.
No, it's a discretionary hit. It's a discretionary hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Fatigue all of them.
Do they all get fatigued then, I guess?
Well, go to your ground assault. The retreat. This is where the retreat procedures are kind of interesting, right?
Lars, if you take a fatigue, the whole stack gets fatigued.
Yeah, but it'll come off in the next turn. So
Yeah. Okay. No, we do.
what-
We do a fatigue there. Oh,
well,
sorry.
if you choose a limited retreat, you can go 1 hex or into a defensive works.
Yeah.
Then you have to roll. This is where the retreat rolls are really interesting. You have a choice of full retreat or limited retreat. And if you go, in your case, you can go full retreat because you can withdraw into a defensive works automatically. And then once you do that, then you resolve them in the next order. Inflict step losses, max step losses met, and then after applying fatigue hits. So because you have to do you don't want to take step losses, you want to try to do the limited retreat. Am I remembering this right? It's not a guarantee.
Now, I spoke with Doug about this because I had a question. This came up last session.
Yeah.
So the way it works, Doug's saying he did his mandatory step loss. He took that.
Yes.
Now, if he wants to stay in the hex, he's got to roll for his PR. If he passes, he can take it as either another step loss or he can take it as fatigue. It's his
Right.
choice. Because he passed his thing because it's discretionary.
Well, that would be holding the position.
Yes.
In his case, he could use limited retreat, which is another option, which is a retreat. If you have a retreat path, and if you're an attacker, you can withdraw into a defensive works.
So he did his retreat there,
Yeah,
and he satisfied that one discretionary,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got one more left. You're saying, correct?
Correct. So now you roll your PR using the lowest.
Now, does he need
Unit.
to roll his PR if he's
No.
already now in entrenchment 2? That's
An ET unit automatically passes, right?
correct.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So he
But
can
he
take
has
that
an
as a fatigue now.
Yeah. The IP guys are a different matter. They'll have to roll, but they're at 8. So I mean, they're
Shouldn't they roll with a 9?
Yes, you do.
So- yeah.
You roll with a 9.
Okay, so let's do that then.
Oops.
Yes.
oh. Which stack were you rolling for?
No way.
Southern Water with a 2. The
Good position.
IP hex.
Yeah,
Which
they
means
they have to retreat.
So now, if you fail, you follow the procedures in 13.10.4a, which is hold the position. So look under hold the position. Failed.
yeah, but I was doing the limited retreat, and if I follow the lucky forward chart, it says after retreating there are hits remaining. Resolve it as hits in any combination of step losses and fatigue hits. So I said it's an automatic
Show us what
fatigue
you're looking
hit.
at. I'm looking at the chart. What are you looking at?
The charts that came with lucky forward.
I'm looking at this chart.
Ground assault resolution. Conduct limited retreat.
Yeah, this is the lucky forward.
Yeah, so bullet number 2 says, yes, withdraw into defensive work. And if after retreating there are hits remaining, resolve them in any combination.
Above all that, it says PRC passed. There's a pass and a fail option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're failed, you go to 13.4a, which is the hold position failure, which may wind up actually being the.
It's the same. It's the same.
Is it wind up
You
the same? You must retreat if there's only one. We already withdrawn.
From my point of reading, you have to look at the hold the position failure action, and it says the same. So you have to retreat just 1 hex with them to satisfy the second discretionary hit, or 2 hexes maybe. I don't know.
I think reading off the chart that you provided, Michelle, it says follow the procedure 13.10.4a, and I assume then that is the whole position, and we're still going with PRC failed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says second sentence, if there is only one discretionary hit to resolve, attack designated may withdraw into defensive work. But isn't there 2 discretionary hits to resolve?
Yeah, I agree. I think technically you make the PRC roll first, then determine if you have passed.
So you have to retreat.
2 hexes.
You cannot retreat into the defensive works and stay there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to retreat
2 hexes.
2 hexes.
Towards supply, right? I know where their headquarters is, wherever that is. Where's their
Isn't the attacker maximum 1 for leg? And
maximum
2, is defender 2 for leg and attacker is 1 for leg for retreating?
Yeah. 1 hex is maximum retreat distance for the attacker.
Okay, then 1 hex and 1 fatigue. Then that's the result.
Yes, good call. That's on the other side of the chart. So yes, they're basically in the defensive works fatigue. Or not in the defense.
No. They had to leave the defensive work.
Yeah, they're not in the defensive works and they're fatigued. But where's their headquarters?
It's down here where the combat reserve is.
So they're actually not going. They actually should have to go. Now you got to look at the retreat procedures, because I think there's a sequencing of order here.
You
which
have
is
to move
not
towards-
adjacent and a hex closer to your HQ. So closer to HQ overrides almost everything except for 3 and 4 and 5 being the tiebreaker. So they're going to wind up bumping into those guys.
Mhm. Okay.
And then Laws will just make sure he's not overstacked on the next movement phase.
Which
No, we are not.
now remind me, when fatigue guys enter another person's hex, do they give the other people the fatigue too?
I believe they do, but don't quote me on that.
Sounds familiar. This is the German retreating problem always when you have double lines.
My question is, while we look that up, why can't he retreat back into his entrenchment or IP if maximum retreat is 1 for an attacker? Why does he have to bypass that?
That's a good point, right? You're right. I agree.
But the rules doesn't say. I'm just quoting the rules, not the logic. It says if there is only one discretionary hit to resolve. It doesn't mention anything about how many hexes you should retreat.
Because I'm just going based upon the mechanic says an attacker maximum distance for retreat is always 1 hex. So we can retreat back into an entrenchment because that is 1 retreat.
No, that's
distance.
not 1 hex. Yeah, but I think the logic here, I would assume that if you only have 1 discretionary hit, you're not as chaotic in your retreat as if you had 2. So you could retreat into the defensive works in this hex where you started your attack. But if you have more than 1 discretionary hit, you're so disorganized that you cannot control the troops, so they actually leave the hex. In this case, the maximum distance is 1 hex, but they have to leave. They cannot take advantage of the defensive works since they are so disorganized by the 2 discretionary hits. That's my take on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
I would argue that they can because it doesn't say they can't.
What's the difference
but it
between
says-
failing or not failing?
If there is only 1 discretionary hit to resolve, then they may withdraw into the defensive works. That sentence would be meaningless if
That's
you
fine.
could.
I agree. It adds a slight penalty, which is valuable, I think.
Just to clarify, I am allied, so I'm actually.
No, I agree. I think you're right. I think otherwise, there's not much of a harm and not much of a distinguishment between failing and passing the PR check at that point, right?
Exactly.
The penalty that I was taught when we played with Joseph Yost, was that if you fail, you must retreat and take a step loss. That is the punishment for trying to stay in the hex. And I'm assuming they changed the rules from that, but that's how, when we played with him in Seattle, we were taught that way. So if we wanted to stay in that hex, there's a penalty that comes with it. So if you fail and you take your PR check on the lowest PR rating person in the stack, in the attack. So whoever was the lowest, you take that PR check. If you fail, you retreat and also take a step loss.
I will caution you against anything that Joe says about the rules because he is very thin on the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
For those of you who haven't noticed.
But we'll continue from here.
So, the German had only a PR check. Was that all?
A star and a 1.
Well, the Germans have a net discretionary hit of 1, which is reduced by 1 due to the Allied retreat, so there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So that was a pushback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So then we continue down the line then. So this one and this one attacks that one.
I'm sorry, which ones are attacking it? The 2 or the 1?
The 2.
Okay, I gotta turn off my jump. Okay,
This one and this one.
got it. Okay. Poor commandos.
So Michael Hershey, how we play is that we add up our ratio, and let's say the ratio was 3 to 2.7, whatever.
Right.
The point number after the decimal, we roll it to two d10s, and if you have higher than that number, you don't go up to the next level, like 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. For instance, let's say you had 3.75. That is the ratio. 75% chance that it goes to 4 to 1. 76 chance and up that it stays at 3 to 1.
That's generous.
So that's how we play. Because it doesn't make any sense that you might have a 3.99 and you have to be at 3 to 1. You follow what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
you roll
follow.
the dice and let the dice do its thing.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah.
It of course favors the allies, but we agree that
There's really zero
I don't like it at all.
downside to that, right? That's your house. That's your house rule. I'll play with it. That's fine.
So we'll have to counter that by rolling low on the.
You get 2 chances to roll low, and you pick the better one. Is that right?
There you go.
Okay, over to the next one then.
Mhm.
16 points there.
What, 16 on 6?
16 divided by 6 is giving us 2.67. So 67% chance to go to 3 to 1. He does it. We're at 3 to 1.
3 to 1, and you're in woods. So there's line 2.
It's pretty steep advantage actually. You get.
And then we have prepared assault plus artillery shift.
Artillery shifts on the Allies or the German?
there was one on the Germans. Oh,
On the German. Okay, so 2 bumps for the Allies. Bip, bip. Jason Defender. Bumps you back. Right.
And we have an entrenchment as well. Well,
Yeah.
But that is negated by the commandos.
I don't think so. The commando lead, it can't be the lead unit because you also have the.
You have more than commandos in this one. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Back to 3 to 1, huh?
Yep.
hmm.
So lead unit is the para. So that's a 9. We also have General Gale. He provides 2 shifts, by the way.
The
Very
general's
nice.
going to get involved. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
He saw the results from the previous attack and said, now I'm leading this.
He's brutal. Wait, is his 2 shifts on the attack or attack and defense?
2 in attack and 3 in defense.
3 in defense, that's right. It's almost impossible to beat these paras up. I think it's
So
overly
then
generous. So now you're at column L, is that right?
Correct. And then we have the 9 as a lead unit.
Column L. Okay.
What do you have?
5.
So that's a +4.
Plus 20.
Plus 20. Mm-hmm.
We don't have any combat reserves there. So then we have this little Achilles tank destroyers. So it has a 4 shift. I guess that will be negated pretty quickly.
There'll be some left over, right? I mean,
Yeah, because he's in woods, and woods gives you what's the
knocks
chart?
it down.
What's-
Knocks it down 2.
We have a 1.
I guess
One
the
over.
engineers have an 1-8. Yeah, I guess it's going to be wiped down to 0, isn't it?
Why is that? We
So,
have
you have a maximum of 2, so that goes down to 2.
Mhm.
And then you have 1
IP.
for IP down. And what do you have for anti-tank?
The engineer 1.
So that was 3 plus to start with, but a maximum of 2.
Starts with 3.
Yeah, so we go down to 0 then, as far as I can see.
Yep.
Okay.
Germans do have. Is there ribs there? Are those 2 battalions for the same organization? No. No ribs.
We have ribs from the engineers, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes, because it's actually a named unit. So yes. So
But
plus,
it's is it full strength? Doesn't it have to be 2 points or something?
Not the engineer company.
If he's in the same stack, it can be a 1-step. If he's
Okay.
not adjacent, he has to be a 2-step.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has to be the named unit. It can't be like a breakdown unit to count as a rip.
So it's down 10 there.
So yeah, you're plus, what is it, plus 10 then?
Plus 10. Okay.
Oh,
Then
this
I
is
let
a-
the guns open up.
15, right? There's a neighboring unit, 2-step from the, or is it a different battalion?
different organ. Oh wait, hold on.
No, it's 744.
Forget. Does he have to be adjacent to the attacker or not? I can't remember.
No, he doesn't. But he has already provided rips in the first
Yes,
collapse.
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so plus 10 then.
Still some pretty badass guys.
And you see the flares going up. So 75.
Oof, that's gonna hurt.
That's
That's the German roll. There we have it.
Nice.
Jonas, you're not
It's so
allowed to roll
unfair, this.
anymore.
17. It's a star one, but it'll any little bit helps, right?
okay.
Yeah.
So then, what did you get then?
So what do we have? We have
Star 1-1.
star 1-1, right?
Against
And
the
other-
German.
Okay.
Yes.
So here comes my PR check. That was okay.
Yes,
And
it's the German
I don't think you're okay because you have to roll. Would you use the lead unit or the lowest unit in the hex? I can't remember.
lead unit must be.
Lead
huh?
unit. Oh, okay, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do we have? Also, our
The Germans rolls are 2, so we pass. that.
Jonas is on fire with his rolls.
Jonas rolled a 7, right? So 10 and 7, 17. Are we on the L column?
Yeah.
So that is a star 1 only.
star 1. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes,
So
one discretionary.
the Allies pass. So the Allies have one discretionary hit to resolve.
That's
The
done.
Germans have one discretionary hit and one mandatory hit to resolve.
Yeah.
So why are you taking a hit? It's just discretionary.
So you need make your PR check for that, doesn't it?
He did.
Well, we go back to the table, right? You have to give choices.
Isn't the first one that you can take as a step loss, you don't have to roll? It's the second one that you would have to roll?
Yeah. At least it was in old times.
Yeah, so you look at the table, resolve discretionary hits, right? There's three choices.
Mm-hmm.
You could attempt to hold your current position, attempt to conduct a limited retreat, or conduct a full retreat. Of course, the Allies know there's only one hit, right? So if you choose to hold the position, if you want to stay there, then you have to pass your PR check, and then you can provide the hits in a combination of step losses and fatigue. So in other words, you could take a fatigue hit and you get to stay in the spot you're in.
That's right.
Of course, if you fail, then you would retreat the one hex. So it's sort of a no harm, no foul thing, other than you would place a fatigue. And then limited retreat, basically the same. Because it's only one hit, it's basically the same thing. Or you could just retreat if you wanted to.
Lars, you took a step loss, correct?
I've done that.
Okay.
Well, no, but in order to take the step loss,
You need to make a PR.
he has to decide what he's doing, right?
Yeah. Even the first step loss must be checked by PR check.
Okay.
That would be under the hold the position rule. If you really
That's
want
the
to,
difference between fire support mission resolution and
yeah, it's subtle, but it's
Okay, Lars. Just let me know what you want to do, and then I'll mark it up there if you're going to take a step loss.
I took a step loss already.
Okay.
Well, did he roll his PR?
Yeah.
But that was
I rolled a 6.
that was for the star from the result. So you
Yeah, that was the combat.
But with a PR check of 9, why does it have to roll?
because a
If
9
you roll 9 fails.
Okay, you have to roll lower than the PR.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly,
there's always a small chance of failure.
and you roll
Yep.
for the lowest offensive PR check.
Yeah,
It's a 6.
yeah. Now you're rolling against the Achilles.
But should I? Oh, no, I don't really follow here.
So first, you made a PR check from the result table, the star. That decided that you passed that one and only have one discretionary hit. Now you have to decide what to do with the discretionary hit. You want to stay in the hex, then you need to pass the PR check again.
Yeah, but I saw somewhere that it talked about you roll for the largest unit.
The largest unit.
Yeah, because that was I saw it somewhere, but
So the reason why we rolled against the largest because that was your lead unit for the star to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when the penalty that they put in the rule is to roll against your lowest unit in the stack.
Yep.
And I'll give you a tip as a German player to the Allies. The Allies are inflicting massive casualties on the Germans always, and those paratroopers are expensive to replace. I wouldn't take a step loss on a paratrooper because you just next turn you beat the Germans up some more. But roll your PR anyway.
I don't want you to close the gap there. I want to have it open.
Don't listen to the propaganda coming from the Axis side.
This is the path to Berlin right here. Don't go there.
Yeah.
We don't want your leaflets dropping out of the sky.
Okay, so we rolled the 6 for that. Then we should roll once again for the Achilles then.
For holding the hex, yes. And it says roll for the lowest PR, so that's
okay.
We
And
passed.
so we did.
We passed it. So now, because you passed, you can resolve that hit in any combination of step losses and or fatigue hits. You can even take a fatigue hit instead of a step loss if you chose to. It's your choice.
Yeah, then we do that.
You're going to take it as fatigue?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
all three,
I'm putting the loss back.
but then all 4 units are fatigued, right? The whole attacking force.
Yeah.
The whole force.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Must be the stack.
Yeah, that's correct. The units that participated in the attack would be marked fatigue.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, but then I can take a step loss on the commandos instead.
Or if you want to, they're even more expensive.
Yeah.
Or
James Bond
it's a retreat you can do.
Actually, no, yeah.
No, we don't retreat. We have come here to stay.
Exactly. Guys,
So,
what's the penalty for being fatigued again? Is it half only
Half
for the attacker,
movement, half combat, half movement.
but not for defending, right? It's not half for defending.
I believe it's half for defense.
It's
Rule
also
14.
half for defending.
Okay, just wanted to be clear.
Yep.
Because the Germans are so powerful over there for a counterattack.
Yeah, exactly.
the
Okay,
next.
so then you mark one loss for the paras and one for the commandos then.
But just hang on, because I just want to understand understand the rules correctly. Since during both AM and PM turn, I think there has been no reduction in the defensive force of the Germans. So that would have me think that the Germans also will have a rest turn during the night. So if they attack during the night, they will be fatigued for the coming AM turn.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
By the way, the Germans still have to suffer a
mandatory loss.
mandatory hit, and then depending upon what the Allies do with respect to their discretionary hit, they may have to still have a discretionary hit to resolve.
And you took 2 losses. You only need
Yes.
to take 1 loss.
Yeah, you only have 1 loss.
You took 2, right? 1 from the commando and 1 from
One from the paras. We took 2.
Okay.
Right.
But also, if you take a fatigue hit, that fatigue hit will be removed during the night. Is that also, unless you plan to attack with the unit during the night?
Mats, you're correct. We will be able to take it on our turn, fatigue off, unless he, even if he gets attacked on our turn, Lars can take it off.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't move or attack during the night, he can take it off.
That's correct.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then
and
we do that
the
instead.
tanks won't be able to take it off because they're adjacent as being vehicles, but they can move back on their turn and resolve it pretty quickly.
Lars, you're going to take a fatigue instead. I'm going to put the loss back.
Okay.
Okay.
The mech unit cannot recover adjacent fatigue.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
So his job will be to move back at night and then remove it in the day. Or he can keep it. Doesn't matter. Whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
I see a step loss on his Paris. Is that supposed to be there?
Yep.
No.
That was one mandatory.
No. That was the German.
Oh, so we only had, that's right. It's only a *1 for us.
So you don't take any losses.
Okay, let me fix that then.
Exactly.
So put your step back. You
Yep,
only have to take
done.
a fatigue. There we go.
Yep.
And what about the Germans then?
They got a
Would take a
mandatory.
mandatory loss.
They got a discretionary, mandatory, and they have to roll their PR.
I think they already rolled it, didn't they?
Yep.
Okay.
So the Germans are in a similar boat, right? They're going to have to take the hit. There's no choice.
Mandatory hit is taken. Yes.
Yeah. It's
So
taken.
does someone record the loss?
I can do it.
And then we have the discretionary.
Okay, and again, similar situation as the Allies had. If the Germans want to place a fatigue, they have to choose to hold the position.
Yeah.
Which is
But
the
I
move
think
to make.
we lose the ET2 build because we took a loss. We need to remove that anyhow.
You might lose it. I can't remember. You might as well see if you pass your PR check, because if you don't, it's gone anyways, because you'll be retreating.
But there's only an improved position, Jonas. It's no ET2. And it's no bocage.
But he's building a building. He failed his PR check, so he needs to retreat. Good.
And where's his headquarters? Straight back there, right?
That's the only hex. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he can advance.
The fatigue.
Why not? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, that comes after everything, doesn't it? So to speak. So the combat is ongoing, and then you press on, and then after the combat is done, you are fatigued.
I agree on
He
that.
he can advance.
Well, I mean, technically, we're doing it in the correct order. If you go after retreating, is advanced after combat, which is advancing units are subject to movement halts, and you individually advance them. First hex has to be the defender's hex. Blah 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 blah. Have to meet stacking units. So
That's true when you take step losses, and you cannot advance if you retreat as the attacker, of course. But if you take fatigue, then you can also advance. It's a similar.
Another reason to take the fatigue is you have the opportunity to still crush the defender.
Great.
Oh.
So this is better than World War One.
Yes, it is. We're
say.
making progress.
Yeah, to the green fields beyond. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this one then. We'll be attacked from here and here.
Wow, that's a stack of stuff there.
Yeah, but it's probably looks more than it is.
13.
So, okay, what? Anyone
24?
in standoff? No, correct?
No.
Okay. So
24 points on 5. Is that right?
So that's a 4.8. So 80% chance to go to 5-1. All right, 5-1.
PA and artillery shift for the.
So you have one. You have two left, and I have one right.
Yep.
That would be a K line.
He might maybe have 3 left. Oh? Improved position, artillery shift, and adjacent defender.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. So J line. Canadians are leading So that's a 9.
And we have a 6.
So that's +3. Then I have. Oh wait, we have 1 engineer as well. So that negates your improved position.
Okay.
Then we have 2 battalions from 3rd para and 2 battalions from 5 para. So that's +20. That's 35.
And we have 2 ribs. Minus
Maybe
10.
3 with the engineer behind.
No, the engineer is not.
Yeah, he has to be in the hex to count for that.
No, you can be.
Yes.
He's a full battalion. He's a full battalion. Yeah, interesting.
But he has a step loss, so that's only 1 step.
Well, you have. Are you talking about this engineer right here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he has 2 steps, and so since he has 2 steps,
No,
he
he said he had 1. He said he had a step loss.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
forget it.
didn't see it. Okay.
But they do have the adjacent defender. Which did you already count that?
Yep.
So you have +10, -10. That's 25 plus.
Yeah. And your armor is eaten up by the forest and the
Yep.
IP.
So +25 then.
All right, we like
That's
that.
gonna be it's
On
gonna be
the
ugly.
K column.
It's gonna be ugly.
I told you.
Oh,
Let's see if I can match that one, Lars.
I hope so.
No.
So you're 75, Jonas.
That's no effect. And I got
No. 75.
no for
That's-
him. For him.
Sorry. Yeah.
But for me, it's 25, 27.
2.
And which line?
So that's 2 discretionary hits.
Okay.
Which line we are on?
K
No.
column.
K or L? Aren't you on L?
No, I think
K.
K.
Weren't you 5 to 1?
-1.
So a K line.
Oh, the shift was on the Allies, not the Germans. Sorry.
Yeah.
Still a 2.
Still a 2. Okay. 2 discretionary.
So
Again, you go to your options.
I will retreat. Full retreat.
Now, you could choose to retreat 1 hex. Now, he's going to be able to advance 2 hexes if you do full retreat.
Yeah.
You could choose a limited retreat if you pass. That would leave you stuck at Bavent.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
You can't go that way.
You don't want to go that way.
No, I don't want to go to Bavent. I need to go.
Yeah, never mind. You get shot at by this. Well, actually, with the
Go
fatigue
to
guys,
your-
no, you wouldn't. You can't even go there. Yeah, never mind.
And there, I think.
Yeah, run away.
Yep.
Full retreat. Now the attackers get to advance.
Yeah,
And the
but
rule on
can
that
only
is-
advance 1 hex one.
No, everyone's in PA mode, right?
Yep.
So leg units in PA mode can advance 2. Mech units up to 4.
But doesn't he have to
Okay.
stop once he's adjacent to?
They need to follow the retreat path, isn't it?
Yeah. Follow the retreat path.
Normally follow the retreat path. Exceptions. Mech units can deviate from the path of retreat if all hexes entered or clear terrain are connected by any type of road. So the recon unit could go to Bavent.
Yep.
He'd be kind of having his ass hanging out there.
Yeah, why not?
That's his
So
job.
you have 2. You have 2 recon units. I'm sorry. You have 3 mobile units. Oh my gosh. Look at that. And then is that an engineer? What's the other guy? Motorized engineers to boot. They could shovel in there too.
They're
Wow.
the closest allied units closest to Berlin right now.
The townspeople greet you with great joy. And then just watch your stacking coming in there and you're good to go.
See, this is what's great about playing a big group game. Everyone's minds come into action over the rules and helps everyone out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done there.
Takes some time, but it's
Starting with a complex 3 attacks here.
This is the sideshow. What are you talking about?
Okay, over to Carl. So we attack these guys here.
This was the first day of the scenario, right? Yeah.
From the three adjacent hexes.
The setup is horrible for the Germans over here.
Okay. So you attack from all 3 hexes?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, sir. So where are you attacking? Which hex?
North of Khan.
So all 3 guys are going to beat that one poor unit up.
Yeah, and you will soon see me retreating towards the beaches.
Who put the Luftwaffe in charge of the Khan defenses? That's crazy.
Hermann Göring, probably.
He's like, yeah, my guys will do it. My guys can do it.
Okay.
So 34.
So Michael's turn.
No, any standoff attacks?
No.
Oh, you're not standing off. Okay, great. Good for me.
Or is there a point in doing that here?
You'll see.
With the
They must have
88.
88s in there.
Okay. Okay, let's do a standoff then. So that is, what did I say? 34 minus 2.5 then. Minus 4.5.
Yeah.
Standoff means all are halved or not? Or only the only the tanks?
29 and a half.
29 and a half.
Yeah.
You round up. You round up. Half each unit and round up.
Yeah.
So round up each unit.
Yes.
Well, you're rounding them up and
3
then,
plus
and then
2 then, so it's
percentages?
5.
Oh, yeah. You guys are going to regret
5 and 6 is 11. Plus 10 is 21, 22. So that's 29, 30. 30 points then.
Okay. What's the defenders?
Wait, did you have, what was your, before rounding, what did you have?
34.
Right, so you should have 29 and a half.
Yep. So I'll count. I can't count again. 2, 3, 5.
I don't
8.
think you, just an indecent
19.
proposal here, but if you're going to give basically the attacker, which is essentially the allies, the chance of rounding up on their attack, they shouldn't also round up their points.
That's in the rules. The other house rule isn't in the rules, and I have not joined the discussion about that rule. I don't like it at all. But
So 30 points.
Individual unit up after half.
You have 4 to 1, basically.
What do you have?
4 to 1, right? Yeah, 7. So 29. Whether it's 29 or 30, it's 7 to 1. I mean, 4 to 1. Excuse me, against the 7.
And a percentage roll, what would that be?
What are you, 29 to 7?
We had 30 to 28.
Depends if you round again.
30 divided by what? 8?
7.
7?
What did you have?
It's 4.29. So 29% chance. He did it. He rolled less than 20. He rolled less than 29%.
Where does this rule come from?
You ever see the Second World War? It's the Europa game.
This is GoSS, not Europa.
Yeah, this is going to be ugly for the Germans.
It works on both sides, fellas. It works for both sides.
No, it's a good one.
You can't say it. We will probably make
we can't
5
stop it now.
attacks in this campaign game.
Can't stop it now.
So
you know what you should do? There should be a reciprocal. The reciprocal is the failure, and it actually reduces it a column.
Okay, so we have one right for prepared assault. I have engineers taking out your entrenchment. We have one artillery ship.
What's the terrain? Are these morons in the clear?
It's clear, yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
it's
4 to 1 in the clear. We start on.
So we are basically on a 5 to 1 still.
By the way, there's no standoff possible. It's a clear terrain. There's
Exactly.
no standoff.
Good point.
No, that's it's not for me. It's woods in every hex.
Doesn't matter. We choose the terrain.
You have to be in the terrain, though.
Yeah, you cannot use standoff against a clear terrain.
Oh, is that true?
I don't think so.
No, I think you have to be in the open. Because if you're basically standing in the tree lines shooting.
I think in that case, defender can choose. And by the way, next time we always assume no standoff. We don't ask anymore.
There you go. Standoff. The attacker declares first. Neither player can declare standoff if the defender is using terrain line 1.
you.
Boom.
Yep.
You got to run into those 88s, my friend. All right. So your odds are. I think the odds are still the same because you rolled the percentage. So the odds are still
5 to 1.
5 to 1 in the clear. But you're gonna enjoy some 88s. Good call.
Okay.
Raw odds were what, 5?
Now it's 5 to 1. And when we had 1 shift right for prepared assault, 1 left for artillery shift. And then I have engineers taking out your entrenchments. Then we have 1 left for the adjacent defender.
All right, so you're at column L now, yeah? 4 to 1?
Correct.
Okay.
So did you start on M column and have 1 net left? Is that right?
Yeah.
No, we started with 4 to 1. And then we had the percentage dice roll to 5 to 1. Then we had prepared assault artillery shift equaling out, engineers equaling out the ET2, and then 1 adjacent defender going down to 4 to 1 again.
Okay. So L column.
L column, correct. And we take the
Who's your lead unit? The Allies have to declare a lead unit and amongst those forces.
Yeah, we take one of the 7th Brigade up here on the left side. Canadians.
Well, are they all Canadians?
Yep.
All right, so you're taking the injured guy. This is who's your lead unit. Okay. With the reconnaissance unit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a 7.
We have a 7.
So that's 0. Then we have some. Can we see? We have 9.
You're going to have some ribs out the end.
We have 15 for the ribs.
15. 1, 2, 3 from the 9th Brigade, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you?
Oh, it's going to be ugly.
We have 2 ribs.
Well, where's the ribs for the Fusiliers? Is there an adjacent?
Any regiment
can combine with
Fusiliers.
So
But you have only no. Okay, yeah.
Oh, so it's this the Luftwaffe unit in the ET3 gets to count as a rib?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 2 ribs to the 3. Allies right have 1 bonus. Is that right?
So then we are down to +5, and then 1 combat reserve.
Luxury. Combat reserve.
We have we have 2 combat
Germans don't know what a
reserves.
combat reserve is, I don't think.
So that's up to +15.
Are you ready for the fun?
No, can't we skip that? We can all be friends, can't we? So let's hear the anti-tank then.
So what are you using? Using the recon?
Yeah, we have the we have the Shermans. I guess there's no better choice.
Well, the ET2 reduces the Sherman attack armor by 2, leaving only...
You make all reductions after the initial comparison. So it's 4 versus 7.
We have the anti-tank
right.
88. It's a big 88.
So 388s. I forget, do the 88s provide +15s or +10s in the open like that?
15.
That's what I thought.
Minus 30. 5.
It hurts.
So what do the Allies have then
4.
for bonuses before the tanks?
We had 15 plus.
So there's what, net minus 30 then for there'd be minus 45 for the Germans, the 3 differences.
It looks like it's going to be a minus 15 on the DRMs.
So you had 3 ribs and we have 2. We have same PR.
We have three ribs and 2 combat reserves.
Yeah,
that's
our ribs
+15.
cancel their combat reserves. They have +15, right? And there's minus 45 for the anti-tank.
Minus 30.
Minus 30 net.
Yeah.
So now you need to roll, Mike. I'm done.
And we're on column L still. Is that right?
Correct.
I got to warm up
Okay.
my dice mouse clicker hands.
So there's one discretionary hit for you then.
Would you roll 37?
Yep.
As an attacker, minus 30 is 07.
One
Wow,
discretion.
it still gets a discretionary. All right, let's see what the Germans can do. 55 minus 30 is 25. One discretionary hit on the Allies.
I guess we don't need to own that hex, do we?
Nej, sorry, nu gjorde jag på fel.
So what's the
Who
Allies
has to
doing?
decide first? The defender has to retreat first? Yeah. I
No,
think
no,
so.
no. The Allies always resolve their hits first.
Ah,
The
okay.
attacker, I'm sorry, the attacker.
Attacker, yeah.
So
Because
what
every
you,
hex,
Lars, you took a step loss?
wait, you have to roll though. You're trying to hold your ground then. You have to roll a PR.
You could again here take a fatigue if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Also
but he has to pass.
But I-
the PR check.
Yeah, still, yeah.
Who's the
But-
lowest PR you have there? Where did
That's
everybody
a
go?
6 with the engineers, I believe.
Well, they're attached to a unit, so they don't count.
7 then,
Sevens.
of course.
Well, no, the Sherman would be the lowest one.
But
What's
He
his-
still has to retreat. He failed his PR check.
Oh, run away! All right, so it's a failed hold the position, must retreat a hex.
Yeah.
Which means
No,
the
that's-
Germans do
This
nothing.
cancelled our discretionary.
That was lucky for the Germans.
By the way, I didn't like the change that the first step loss cannot be automatically taken. So is this a new rule with the hold the position?
Yes,
think
I agree with Hanno.
Yeah, I agree too.
'Cause
No,
it
I
used
think
to be-
it's
It used to be you could take the first as a step loss, and then the second you would have to roll.
I think
Yeah.
it's actually better because the Allies usually have so much power behind them that they would just let their troops take a beating over and over again just to continue to muscle the Germans out. And this results in a little bit more natural fluidity to the battle, which is an attack can fail and be called off.
But it's a huge retreat to just one discretionary hit.
Yeah.
Well, it's one hex, and if you were in defensive works, you could retreat right into those defensive works. So it's your own darn fault for having not whoever it was that didn't build some defensive works there.
No, we can't. Remember, it happened on all the way to the far west. We couldn't east. We couldn't go into our defensive works over here.
But that was because you had 2 discretionary
Oh, that's
hits.
right too.
Yeah.
That's right too.
Yeah,
So Michael
Yeah.
can reoccupy the vantage point. We lost it in former fighting. So he can reoccupy this vantage point.
yeah. We'll send some guys up there that'll get smashed by the British Navy. It'll happen.
They were smashed this turn. Yeah, or last turn. We did already some attacks here. So they had to No, we only did the fire missions. They were smashed by the artillery and fire missions, therefore they retreated from the hex. Okay. But this retreat cancels our discretionary, right?
Yes.
So then the hex are over.
Where are the German leaders for the 12th SS? What's that guy's name? Meyer. He's the only in the left. Oh, I see him. He's over there on the wrong side of the battle. Okay.
You guys can take the AS markers off your units.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll do that since it's
Yeah, we
my.
can do the cleanup now.
Are there any other attacks?
No.
Okay.
Now, Mark and Lars, did you guys do your? Well, I know Lars did not. Mark, did you do your artillery replenish?
I haven't done mine unless you did, Clay.
I did yours on your side.
Okay.
I got us all back to as normal as can be.
Okay.
Okay,
Where's
then
the-
I
I
will
gotta find- where
start
is-
to roll for mine then. So I start from here. And we have an ADB of 4, if I remember correctly.
He's just fired, Lars. You don't need to roll for him. So
No,
this-
sorry. No, not that one. Yeah, correct. We can't have about all. Yeah, so we roll for this one then. Yeah. And you have this one here. Nope. So I think everyone else is okay. So now we clear the fired ones.
How about you, Mark?
Yeah, there is one more depleted, no? Or did I roll for that one? No?
You only rolled 2, I think.
Yeah, I rolled for that one and that one. So then I have 1, 2 left. So I start with the Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then this one. Yes. So, then I'm done.
Mark, I think you have 4, 5. Oh, that's not you. That's Xavier. Okay, Xavier has 3. I will roll for him. Let me find out what he is.
Okay. He should be in the room, but you can roll definitely.
Is he here?
I see him as muted here in the room, in the large room.
But he not in the game.
Ah, okay. Then
Roll for him and he will give a howl when he's
All
back.
right, he has 3.
Exactly.
I have to get a 4. 4 or less. I'm going to roll 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So 2 of them are undepleted.
Which is your core, Clay?
I don't. I'm right now commanding the army. I'm doing the 30th Corps for the Commonwealth.
Oh, okay. Just trying to find where we're at here.
So I am putting this guy back to undepleted.
What's the rule, by the way, on the ET3 production? Isn't it like one every other day?
yeah, I think even every third day or so.
Is it? I forget what it, you just get to if it start at ET3 if you're allowed to. If there's an engineer on top of an ET, is that the idea?
No, we got a starting allocation, and as this is the first game day, we have to check, but we get new ET3s, I think, every second or every third game day.
Okay,
I will try to look it up.
got it.
It's third.
I think that starts at the June 8th, if I remember correctly.
Now the Axis, you can pay ammo points if you want to undeplete your units because it's simultaneous. This phase.
Are there any ammo points available? I didn't see any.
We have the night to roll for that. And we don't need to pay any ammo points to remove.
No, we don't. Also not.
Do we try to get any at the beginning of the day? I'm just curious if any were created by ADV reductions.
Yeah.
We had some, but I think they might be used already, or some of them are used.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they did a lot of intense
Portuguese
barrages.
West have no, we don't have. We have 2 ammo points in the West.
Panzer Group West. And Mitch and Michael Simon, I think we save on ammo points for better days. So we have 2 times to roll to replenish our artillery in our turn afternoon and in our turn in the night.
Yep. Agreed.
Mark,
This is the Allies are done. This is their PM turn, so they're over with for this today.
Mark, are you on? Mark?
Sorry.
That's
Back
okay.
now.
You have 2 units in the 8th Corps in your area that's depleted. Did you roll for depletion for these 2?
No, not yet. I'll do it now. 1 second. So this guy first. It's going to be a no. And then this guy. It's going to be a no as well.
Okay. So then administrative then it comes up. We are finished with the Allied turn, right? The afternoon turn.
Yes, we
Okay.
are.
I have to remove fatigues. One.
Yeah, units
8.
which didn't move, right? They can remove fatigue.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, please. So and then if you're officially done with the turn, we can do a save or something, right?
I got a question. Why is the U.S. first army at the dead box?
They did
The HQ?
airstrike. They came in with an airstrike and took them out.
What? For real?
No, for real. In the rules, it says it can't start. We have to push back the Germans off of a road.
Oh, you're still struggling over that stupid coastal road. Got it. Okay. It's not really dead. It's just not in play. Okay.
Okay, right? Okay.
So I saved the game and also started a new log file for the German turn.
So this is PM turn for the Germans.
Correct.
Let me save it too here. Where am I going to put this thing? Let's make a new folder. Call it.
Should we now go in east and west rooms? Or should well, it's just movement
good
now,
call.
so
Yeah.
It's just moving.
Yeah, I don't mind watching you guys move. It's fun.
So what is it? This is July
Second.
July 2nd, German PM turn, right?
So, yeah. Perhaps we need some private German strategy discussion.
Sure.
Okay, then.
I set it up that you guys can jump in a room. There's room 1, 2, and 3. So,
Yeah.
jump
How
in.
about how about 1 for the Germans?
Okay.
Okay. Jump to German room 1.
How do you do that?
I can't get in there.
Let's see if it's should be open because I have some people already in there. But I'll
Yeah,
throw
it's
you
just
guys
like-
in there.
I'm in.
Oh, you're in? Okay, good. Jonas, I'll throw you in there.
Thank you.
Okay, they're in there. Hey, fellas.
Clay. Whew.
That was a nice battle.
Yeah, it was.
Can't say.
That's okay. You did well over there. Actually, you on the very east side, you broke through to get behind them.
Yeah, hopefully that creates a little bit of a disturbance at least.
And Matt's got across the river, which was big. That was very huge on 2 locations too.
yes, I like that.
Because now he can come down. He's going to build probably a bridge there. He can get his tanks over, and he can come down that primary road to get down by St. Lo.
I'm starting to build 2 bridges.
Beautiful.
Hey, Clay.
Connected to.
Yes, Mike?
There's no Germans in this room, is there?
Nope.
They're all okay. I have an opportunity here. You tell me what you think right here. Over on the
remember that Germans can see the marks in the map.
right. Okay. Then
Just call it the hex.
That was me doing the equivalent of dummy paratrooper, so now they don't know what we're really like. I got you covered.
But,
I got you covered, my core brother over there.
I have a chance to go south or to the west with the 90th Division. I'm thinking about going south.
Yeah.
to maybe if we can cut off some supply or something. And I can't go too far because I lose the 82nd Airborne soon, and I got to get the 8th Division, but I might be able to go somewhere, at least to the headquarters of the 77th, their 77th Infantry. That it's got a.
You probably would like to go down there in order to make them uneasy. You want to hit the weak spots, not the strong ones.
Yeah,
right.
Mike, that's going to force them. They're going to have to pull back because I don't care if they're watching. Like this guy, I'm going to actually move him here. By moving him there, it's going to just completely force all these guys to fall back. So yeah, you go that way, and we're just going to stretch them. They're going to have to do a new line down here pretty soon. Otherwise, I got an entire rested 4th Infantry up here that's ready to just exploit through the. Even though it's infantry, they'll still be able to move pretty well. So I think regardless, they've got to be moving back. This position around here is not tenable.
By the way, that spot that you keep hitting with the 3 entrenchment.
Yep.
He has a fatigue unit under there. I believe that fatigue unit is a mech unit, and if it is a mech unit, it cannot recover.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to pull back this turn. So try to get ahead of them, Mike, because it's going to be a matter, can they retreat faster than we can advance? So, yeah, I think that's the smart move.
Yeah, going south, Mike, straight down that road. Agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Will do then. So I'm going to have to bring, I'm going to have to change some, bring my artillery up quick.
How are we doing on RPs? I definitely could use a couple to get some units back to strength. I haven't been paying attention on if we've got a bunch of infantry ones or if we're hurting.
We have a lot of losses that we can now convert back for culling. So especially on the
7th Corps. Perfect. Yeah, 7th Corps would definitely like a couple if American ones, if we can spare them. I got to start keeping an eye on that because my 4th is kind of beat up already, and then I'm taking losses.
Definitely. I'll start converting them over and getting us replacement points over there. Right now we have 4 armor replacements and we have 2 infantry. But once I change over to conversion, because I believe we have 15 losses on the infantry.
Okay.
And I think, what is it? Right. I think it's like every 5 we get a replacement point.
Yeah. Yep.
So
5.
We got a good amount. So I can bring some over to you, Jeff.
Okay, cool.
And I know Matt's took some damage as well. He's going to need some because he's very important as well.
Just save me 2. And we do that during the combat phase, if I recall, right?
Right before the
Which I've always thought is odd, but yeah, it means you didn't move and you can't shoot, but it's actually during the combat phase. So okay.
No, it's before the combat phase.
Before the combat phase. Okay, yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do that next turn. I'll put in that request for more troopies.
Because I want to get some for the 30th. Mike, did you lose any?
Yeah,
Kirkwood?
I lost a couple in the 79th. However, I've got no big movements there in the near future, really. So if they're not real priority, but I'll need some in the 315th Regimental Combat Team of the 79th. I lost 2.
Okay, I'm going to hold off for a while because your 90th is more important, and your 90th is in full strength. Matt's needs it for his 30th because he lost some, and Jeff's going to need some on his.
I'm just holding a defensive position up along there. So,
on the replacement, the way I read it, we can move and then receive replacements, but we cannot receive replacements and fight because that's in the same phase. So we can move forward as long and as we have to be in supply when we move, we can then, after the move, receive replacements.
Correct. Hey, Kev. Welcome.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
A little bit late, but I thought I'd come and listen in.
That's okay. You just missed one ground attack that our guys were doing all the way to the east. They're right now in the breakout room doing their game planning. The other side.
Nice.
Now, fellas, I'm going to look over Michel's place, but he'll be back next Sunday. He's right now enjoying himself at a convention in Paris, I think. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
A wargame convention?
Yeah, lucky.
Mm-hmm. Who's handling his second armor, by the way?
It's Michel.
It's Michel. Okay.
I'll be right back.
So we can move half movement point during the night without getting any fatigue hits. That's correct.
Yes. You cannot move adjacent to an enemy unit.
Okay. That's important. Or can you, but then you have to take a fatigue hit? Or can you not at all?
Hold on. It's something about being adjacent to a unit.
You cannot move directly from an hex adjacent to another without.
That's
so you cannot infiltrate, so to speak.
That's it, because I did that one time, and because I was going through movement cover terrain, but it was at nighttime, and I couldn't do it that way. You are correct.
Yeah. I really, really like this system. This is the first. I mean, I've read the rules, but this is the first actual play I've done, and I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's one of the best, definitely.
Once you start knowing the rules, then you start playing the game.
Yeah,
Right now, most of us, we're playing the rules, but once
Yeah.
they become more comfortable, then you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Right. The combat results is really the hardest for me right now. Figuring that out.
Lars, we'll give you a webcam, and you can roll instead of using the Vassal roller.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with mine, but it's in every game I play, it's the same thing. It must be some funny thing here. The dice god are sitting.
I want you to change your mind thought on that. From now on, I'm serious.
It's a beautiful bridge.
From now on, I want you to say, I'm hot with my dice, and just keep...
No more negative waves.
Exactly. Don't put that in the universe anymore.
It's a beautiful bridge.
I will try that.
Now, Mads, what do you like about the system that it's catching you?
It is that it captures everything that every time I read a rule, it's like, of course. I mean, it makes sense. Then, of course, you can argue, is it too much Chrome? But we're all in it for the Chrome. So I think it's the tactical. It really matters. The terrain matters. You can, with the constricted terrain or with everything, it matters how you do it. And then, of course, I'm very happy that we're playing in so many players, so that I, as a newbie, can focus on my core, because I think it's really spanning the strategic and the tactical sense would be too much for me. But it's a perfect multiplayer game, because if I would play it by myself, I think I wouldn't like it, because I have trouble with games that try to where you sit at the top and at the bottom, which you do in this game. But then again, we're playing it multiplayer, so it works.
Agreed.
I think I have Lars. You and I have had some discussions on Deadly Northern Lights and 1985, and I think that game system is very much the same if you play it's Third World War. It's perfect for multiplayer, but it's so much going on that if you play it by yourself, it really is too much. And I think GoSS would be, for me, to play by myself too much.
Yeah, then you have to play scenarios.
Of course.
Mats, what system were you talking about right then? 85.
It is by an Italian guy.
Yeah, the C3. Yeah, that's funny that you said that because I've explained to a lot of folks that only play C3 how similar the GoSS combat steps are, and vice versa. Guys that play GoSS, I'm like, you'd really dig Dogs of War and Less Than 60 Miles because it rewards you to have engineers and to have artillery, to have the armor in the right place. And it's funny. I don't think Joe knows Fab or vice versa, but it is very interesting because that's all I play these days is GoSS and C3. And there actually are so many similarities. It's really something.
C3 is a lower level from 1985.
It's the
it's one step up.
Yeah, because it's battalions and regiments, and this is battalions and companies. Yeah, so it's a little bit.
No. So the 1985, there you move divisions and support units, like some battalions, some brigades, but you can basically stack only one division in a hex. So the scale is one step up from less than 60 miles.
Correct.
But it's the same. It's very much as Mats says. If you try to play the campaign game, you are like Adolf. You are moving battalions in the end. On a strategic scale, and you lose yourself very easily. But it's a perfect multiplayer. But this one is not. I would say the graphics do very much here. It's really superb.
Yes, it's easy on the eyes. That's for sure. For me, maps are very important. So I need to really have a game that has a nice map that pulls me in more. As Kev knows me, I like it crunchy. As more, I want a simulation. I don't want a game. So the more it's closer to a simulation, the better it is for me. And that's from my point of view. That's. Well, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I'm surprised. Yeah, you got to give C3 a try, Clay. It is crunchy as heck. I think you'd really dig it.
You just do a lot of planning, don't you?
The thing about that is, I'm not really into modern war.
Yeah, see, you're right. And then you wouldn't. But man, I mean, think about it, Clay. Think about if each unit on this map for GoSS, you're choosing one of 8 formations. I mean, it doesn't get any crunchier than that. It's amazing that you're going down to that granular side, 3-hour turns where you're giving orders, and you might have really messed up because you just told them to get in a defensive posture, and now you need them to attack, and it's going to take 6 hours for the staff to sort it out and get them turned going the right way. It's really cool. But you're right. It is definitely modern theme.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
What's that game, C3?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. It's called the C3 series. If you go to TRL Games, thinredlinegames.com, it's called Dogs of War and Less Than 60 Miles. And then this year, they'll come out with Hamburg. He's doing basically all of Germany. Every other year, he comes out with the next one, and they connect well. It's a hoot. I'll let you, if you guys want, you've all got my email. Ping me. John and I play, Rainey and I literally are playing twice a week, and we have been for 8 months. So if you ever want to pop on and we'll walk you through some of the combat, we're happy to. It's pretty neat.
Have you added both modules together?
Yes. Oh, we're playing the full campaign. Yeah,
that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
We're on day 3. So we're like I think we're like 20 turns in. His chemical weapons are finally degrading, but it's been 3 days of me pulling back strategically. I can hope to maybe attack his NATO in about another day. I'll wait for the night and hit him. But even that,
both maps together, they gives you so many more avenues to attack.
It's really cool. It just rewards. You got to really think through, and even just doing a tactical withdrawal is really fulfilling. It's tough as hell, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I think Kev's played the system too. I kind of just ignored it for about 2 or 3 years, and I'm so glad that a couple of guys just said, you've got to try this, because the map looked weird to me, and I didn't quite grok it. And then once I did, I'm like, holy shit, this is great.
But I feel war games, especially the monsters, are great for group. And that's why when I
Yeah.
wanted to put this together, I'm like, let's get as many people to take over small areas, and it's an easier bite into the system. Like Matt's saying, he doesn't have to concentrate on everything. He can just concentrate just on his area.
Yep. And I really don't mind this format of playing. I mean, some would perhaps be concerned about downtime, but I find it fulfilling to just learn the system and listen in on the discussions and everything. I really, I have no problem with just doing my two things and be enjoying the game as a whole.
Yep, I'm the same way, Matt. It helps me to learn.
Yep.
But it makes you feel like you're at the table actually playing with other people, because that's what we do, right? When we're playing with a big group, we watch the other player do their moves. Sometimes at a convention, you walk around looking at other tables and come back and seeing what's going on, but you want to be in the action. So yes, I do agree with you. I don't like play by email. I want to see the players play in front of me. I want to hear the conversations. I want to hear us go back over the rules like we just did for those 3 combats, which we all learned something new.
Yep.
That's for sure.
So are they doing strategic move, Clay? I don't know how to. I'm glad that I'm on the Allies, because I don't know how the strategic map works on this thing with the railroads and the zones. And do they do that every turn, or is that like once a day, or what are they?
They're going over their strategy right now, what they're going to protect.
That strategic map, though, the off-map movement for the Germans, do they do that every movement phase, or is that more of at the strategic level?
It's at the AM phase.
Yeah, every AM.
Okay. Gotcha.
You put them into groups of so many units, and you either transport them by truck or by rail, or they walk.
Right now,
I played the whole campaign from like the first 3 days on my own, and it's not outgoing, but once you get into a flow of it, it's just not so bad, because you can't remember what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right now, they're saying we're in trouble.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out where can they plug up with minimum replacements that they have and minimum reinforcements that's coming on the map. Because remember, their reinforcements are all the way down south. It's going to take a long time for them to get up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to move quick before those reinforcements get up.
Well, I'm not making much headway against the SS, that's for sure.
No.
We knew that was going to be a problem.
But I think I'm better off just outstreaming them to death at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you're making them not being somewhere else.
This is true. Well, 30 core is doing pretty good.
Sorry?
Commonwealth 30 core is doing pretty well. It's not a breakthrough.
Yep.
Now, Mark, I sent down... who did I give to you down there? I sent some guys down to you.
Is that the crocodile units?
The GDs over here?
Oh, the guards.
And who else did I give you? I gave you someone else too.
You give me the whole guard division?
Yes, I gave it the guard division.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you give to me the 53.
That's it. Xavier, I gave you the 53. And the crocodiles are coming down to help out with that hedgerow. And Bacage.
Well, what I do, if you're giving the guards to me, I might cycle 11th Armada to the line, because they've got quite a lot of step losses, and then put them into refit or something like that and build it back up, or put them into just out of the line and build them back up and do something with the guards instead.
There you go. Make sure you get some infantry with them, because you're in clear terrain, and if you're not combined, you're going to get slaughtered.
Yeah, just all of my troops now. I've got most of them. I've got 1 step losses on a lot of them. But I'm deciding what to do with them now. It's really hard going around the west of Caen.
ours broke through, as you see, all the way to the east
Mm.
icon.
I'm hoping that's going to drag some of his troops that way a little bit.
Because they're pretty thin over there on the east side of Khan.
Are they? I see so many 88s. I'm just struggling all the time.
That's okay. We got that special weapon coming.
I'm looking forward to it. I was a bit dubious, and then after the last 2 turns, I'm like, yeah, please come.
Now you understand why I said we need to do that.
Mm-hmm. In combat, I've done nothing but barraging. I've done quite a lot of damage to him, especially last turn. And just do that, I think, from until things changed a bit.
They got the PowerPoints going over there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kev, what are you up to? Anything fun?
Oh, I'm just living the dream.
I know you are.
No, last weekend I was out of town, so didn't get a chance to do any gaming, just reading and trying to get focused on playing again. It's been a busy couple of months. So,
how was Mexico?
Oh man, I got spoiled. we stayed at a really nice place, and it was pretty fabulous. I have a new best friend. That's all I'm going to say. I want to be friends with this guy for a long time. He's a cool guy and very generous.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Kev's also trying to learn the system, fellas.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Lucky Forward, but I'm just curious. I picked like one little section, like you guys split up here and just played. But I'm interested in learning more about the end of turn sequencing and managing headquarters and supply and ammo points and stuff like that. So I'd like to kind of watch in as those things happen, just to see mechanically how that all works, because I was a little confused by the rules. But it's cool. It's a cool system.
Yeah, the logistics phase, that happens after night turn. Night turn's pretty quick because no one really does anything. It's more about adjusting your units to be in position and call it a day. When we do the logistics, I will make sure I let you know that so you can jump on and watch us how we do logistics, because it is a lot to take in.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
What I like about it is that the army starts out with ammo depletion value, and there's charts at the top of this map, and you can buy ammo points by depleting your ammo depletion value to give you more ammo points, because you want the ammo points to do these intense barrages when you make your artillery attacks, which is very deadly. Or you need your ammo points to replenish all your depleted artillery. And those are the two reasons why you want ammo points.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, fellas, we have to, regarding bringing on the army again for the U.S., we have to take them 7 hexes off that road. What was it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just quite a ways.
I know.
Jeez.
It is quite a ways. The 83rd needs to get involved.
I mean that even involves some units down here south of the 30th Infantry Division. You know, down
Absolutely. Yeah. I know. We're the 30th will move. The ones at the bridge will move due west, so that will force him to either withdraw or will be isolated. And if they're isolated, they don't count.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they and non-isolated units within 7 hexes of the road.
Right. Hey, to Clay, I noticed up on our transit system, up on our reinforcement transit, up here on Utah and Omaha beaches. You know which one I'm talking about, where the 8th Infantry is?
You're talking about over here?
Way up on. Yeah. It's missing some units. There should be a tank and tank destroyer units according to the reinforcement schedule.
No, I don't see anything there. All I see is this unit here, the artillery that came on, right?
No, are you referring to the embarkation and activated?
Yep, in the embarkation box.
Yeah.
The 8th Division.
Oh, up there.
Yeah. So if you look at what's on the embarkation box and then what's on the reinforcement schedule for scenario 4, Battle of Khan, there should be a tank unit and an M10 unit there too.
Okay, you want to pull it from the counter selection and drop it in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to cheat ourselves from firepower.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that's what I was doing. Didn't want anybody to think I was adding something in there.
That's okay. I'm recording this, so.
Okay.
Question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
We got replacements that we did, reinforcements on AM turn. We put them out. What about what about PM turn? Is there anything coming on the map from the beachheads?
Oh shit, we forgot to do it. If you look up there, Clay, this 155 millimeter 8th Corps and that M10 unit, they should have came on our movement turn of the PM.
So this unit right here, correct?
Yep.
And this unit right here. Okay.
Right.
I'll put the one on Utah Beach. You put it on Omaha.
Okay.
Here. And then they move. Do they move from there? I'm not really familiar.
Yeah, they should have moved because there's not on the PM. They would move since their mines mechanized.
Isn't it half or something like that?
I think it's half off that beach where they're at.
So are they on the map like I have mine here, or are they on these here?
No, they would be on like the number 3 on the map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Or they can be is it number 3 or any of the numbers?
You can do any of the numbers. The original beach that they landed at was, or that was supposed to be 3 and 4, but they landed at 1 and 2, I believe.
Okay.
But by this time, all 4 places on Utah Beach would be open and available.
And then they have half their movement from there.
Right.
Okay, so let's do this. So that's 3, and that's 6.
Now, where should this A10 unit or M10 unit go?
Give it to let's get it to the 30th. So
Okay.
let's bring it down. Let's bring it down by because then it can take that secondary road all the way down to the 30th.
Oh, wait a minute. That's it's been a while since I moved someone. Secondary road is half, isn't it?
No, it's 1.
1. Yeah.
And
yeah.
the primary is half.
Half is only support movement points.
Okay. So I'm going to put attached to the 30th on this guy. So Matt, that's your guy coming down. So
Yep, thank you. What about the supply situation? Are they in supply?
For the whole day.
For the whole day when they come in off the beach. PM. So, but tomorrow or on the day turn, you would probably have to add them into your supply.
Now the Americans, the Allies, I believe it's 18 from headquarters to units. I always play as the Axis. That's why I always.
No, we were in a very short string, as before we have the Army HQ on.
No, but I'm talking about division headquarters to their units.
Yes, it's very. I think it's 9 movement points.
Oh, it's penalized.
No, I think it's 6 actually. I think it's 6.
Is it 9 foot and 18 mech? Something like that?
That's what I'm saying. It's 18 for
18 mechanized.
18 what? Sorry, I'm not following.
Okay,
18
supply tracing. So when the headquarters of the division traces back to their own unit that's part of their division, it's 18 mech supply movements.
I think it's only 6 until we have the Army HQ on.
So that's the punishment we have.
Yes.
No, you're thinking from HQ to HQ, or you're thinking from HQ to unit? HQ to unit is 12 leg and 18 mech. But if it's HQ to HQ, it's 18 mech. But then that's just the standard rules. I know there's special ones for this module.
Yeah, there are special rules for this module.
Yeah.
And that is, let's see, where do we have? I downloaded them, I think.
It is something like 6 from the beach to HQ, then normal for after that, or something from in July, isn't it?
No, well, actually, it's the first days are date based, but then after a few days, it's based on whether you have the Army HQ activated or not. And until we have for us, the Americans, from division to units, it's 6 mech and 9 legs, and it's from corps to division, it's 6 mech.
Wow!
And from June 11th to Army activation.
No, it's not. Our army is not activated yet.
No, until Army activation.
Yeah.
So from the June 11th to Army activation, general path from primary supply source to core HQ may be no longer than 4 mech.
Yes.
When we get the Army activation, then it changes again.
Yep.
All right. So we're saying then from core to division HQ is 4 mech max.
No, 6.
6. Okay, 6. And then from
According to the rules, it's 4 here. It's when the army.
Clay said from core to division. From
No,
primary
HQ
supply.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 6. So then division HQ to their units is 6 as well, mech units.
6 mech or 9 leg.
Or 9 leg. Okay. That's tough.
So it is tough.
So okay, so the mech units can use it's 1/3 on primary roads and a half on secondary roads, right?
Correct. That is correct.
There is a rule that we are using on our side, and it's that if you have 2 steps of engineers, they improve the road state 1 step. So in their hex and adjacent hexes.
Okay, that's good. I never knew that rule.
That is why you see the 3rd Armor engineers up at Trevier, and you have 2 steps just southwest of the 29th Corps HQ.
But you can also do an extended supply as well.
Nope, not when the Army HQ is not activated. You cannot do extended supply.
Okay.
And we can't activate that unit till we get Germans away from Karatan.
Correct. 7 hexes.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong here. For the U.S., infantry divisions are considered mech, correct?
Yes.
What about airborne divisions?
They're part of the U.S.
So
but what do you are asking for with that question? Because
is the 82nd, as far as supply is concerned, a mech unit or a leg unit?
But it's by the rule you can use either mech or leg unit supply tracing. It's 9 for leg tracing, or it's 6 for mech tracing.
Right.
But
I
assume
on the things here, airborne divisions no longer trace to their drop zone. They are treated as any other formation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they would get.
Hey, Yankees.
Hello. We're just discussing supply rules.
Always
All
fun.
right, so we're going to do some move. We're going to complete some constructions is what we're going to start with, and then we're going to go from there. Okay.
Yep.
One important thing about supply, I always like to remind everyone, you cannot trace supply through a movement hull. You can trace it into it, but not through it.
Right.
And also the corollary of that is you can't move into a hex that's out of supply. So it does make it a little tricky to slip past ETs and such. Now, commandos have rules that they can roll to try to go past them and such, but they're an exception.
I learned those rules the hard way last time. I had to redo my moves.
By the way, I found a loophole in the rule from last time. Remember we had that issue where they said that you can't put your unit out of supply?
Mm-hmm.
And the loophole is this, and I'll use these units up here
to
demonstrate.
Where are you?
I'm up here.
No, I'm off of your thing. I stopped to click the follow moves. Give me a city or a hex coordinate or something.
You see the red?
No, I turned off that thing.
Hey,
I have to expand out. Sorry, you're up near Bayou. Okay.
Yeah, up here.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm just going to use these 3 units as an example. And I'll use this American as the example. So what happened was we had something like this last turn. And so this unit here was considered unable to be here because it would have been out of supply. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, this guy is in supply, so therefore the rule says anyone adjacent to a supply unit is in supply. But everyone says you couldn't get to this place because you would have been out of supply.
Correct.
Well,
unless you advance
the loophole would have been this, that this person was there first, and then I am not now out of supply because this one always kept me in supply because I moved it second. And that would be the loophole on the rule saying you cannot move your guys out of supply when moving forward.
But that loophole is actually not a loophole. I got to find the.
That's correct. That's covered in the rules.
It's covered in the rules. You're only able to trade. I call it the pass the ammunition rule.
Yes.
You're able to give that. You're able to help out another unit that's basically 1 hex out of supply if you're in supply, but it doesn't allow them to move through. I just got to find the rule, but it's.
It's in 775 in the first bullet. A unit that begins a friendly movement phase in a situation that cannot trace the spy part, blah, 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 may. Sorry, that was wrong. But it's scratch one. I don't know. I'm lost. But I thought it was here.
There was this specific mention that it cannot be.
No. Yeah.
We found it last week, I think. We found it last week.
So
I remember we were very
rules.
careful. Otherwise, you can make a daisy chain of this in perpetuity.
Exactly.
But you can't continue. It's only 1 hex out. You can only supply units. You cannot keep making the daisy chain and have it 10 hexes out. That's the rule.
So in rule 15.2.3, the last important note. No, sorry.
Let's see, point C. It's before the last important point.
Yeah,
there it is. Yes.
Oh, yes, C.
Thank you.
This method does not permit units to move into and out of supply hex. The method that you described, Clay.
Got it.
Yeah, we made sure to shut that shit down. Because it was vague before. I'm like, well, couldn't you just play this little game? And we're like, how do we write a rule that addresses that? Now you could advance really, how does it happen, right? A unit advances into out of supply, that's okay. Or maybe a bridge is destroyed and somehow they're now out of supply. All kinds of weird stuff can happen, but yeah, you can't just you can't daisy chain your way forward.
So German construction and movement, or what? What's happening?
We are now mode determination and construction phase. Okay, I have some construction and I have a bridge demolition attempt in the second parachute corps sector. So
we don't like that.
Yeah, let's check for the Point Herbert Bridge. You see it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have adjacent a 1 engineer step, and it's part of the construction phase. It's demolition segment. I do the other construction later, but we can.
But you can't both build and destroy with the same unit, can you?
No. You cannot. You get to do one thing.
But it's before movement, right?
It's part of construction.
So it's okay. So either or. Okay. Then anyway, this engineer tries to blow up the bridge. Let's check for the die roll.
What table are we on?
We have this construction table.
Prepared demolition.
Prepared demolition.
Where are we blowing something up? What's the area?
It's X 5422. It's prepared bridge demolition, 1 engineer step. It's 0 to 5.
Yes.
It's not live, but not enemy units. Okay, I roll for it.
6 to 9.
Coming up, a 9. Shit. Okay.
Well, you were lucky with the other bridge the other time, so.
Yeah. Good. Good. Then I do some construction work, and then I move the parachute core. And the others also can do mode determination and unit movement. And
who's moving the second SS?
I am.
Jonas?
All the way back to Berlin, right?
Exactly.
While you do that, guys, I will do a doggy walk with my 2 dogs.
I think they need them in the east front.
I was able to get behind lines and impersonate a German commander.
I got a silly question. Why is 12th SS leader Wunsch in a hex with 1st SS units?
First SS is a Kampfgruppe under 12th SS.
Oh, they've been assigned. Okay.
Yeah. The main part of the division is on the strategic map.
Oh, okay.
And
Got it. Thank you. I was like, what is going on here?
They're having tea.
They're doing something.
Exactly.
Can't be a good cuppa.
All right, why is that there? Okay. I'll have to reorganize some of this stuff. There's some strange things going on over here. So how much naval artillery does the British have at this point available?
A lot.
They still have battleships and a monitor and cruisers, where the west side of the U.S. only has destroyers.
So I'm looking at the allocation. It says it looks like there's 1 monitor, 1 battleship, and 2 cruisers and 4 destroyers. Is that right?
Right.
And remind me, what's their firepower on those things? 5 for battleships?
8.
8. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're unpleasant.
And you had another engineer in that hex where you just built the IP then.
So the improved position can be done by the infantry unit.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
So, Michael Hershey, we have 4 destroyers on the western side, and for the Commonwealth side, we have 1 battleship, 1 heavy cruiser, 2 light cruisers, 4 destroyers, and 1. What was the other one? Min. That's what I have on our notes.
Okay. What's the cruiser's range again?
I think we can reach out 15. Hold on. Let's see.
Where's it at?
And where can I see the?
It's on the. If you look at the charts inside the game, fire mission table. 11.4.2 fire mission table tab.
All right. It looks like these Panthers or these King Tigers are assigned to Panzer Group West Army level, not a division. Interesting.
Some have an allocation, maybe a label.
I have to clean it up in the morning. So.
All right, gotta fix some stuff here.
Yeah.
All right. Trying to decide if I want to do any attacking over here. Although the British have a shit ton of artillery, don't they?
Probably.
You gotta love the Royal Horse self-propelled artillery. It has 6 factors on it. Oh my god, that's a beast. Do the Allies have any ammunition points? Does anyone know?
Do we have ammunition points? We have a ton of them.
Really? British too?
A ton.
I think it's hidden, right? The fog of war. Or is it open in your rules? So this is field works. And now movement.
All right. Get down to business here, figure out what we're going to do. Why is everyone assigned to Panzer Group West? It's so weird.
So if I complete an IP with a one-step engineer, can it start immediately on ET2?
Yeah, because you're completing it. Essentially, it's done at the beginning of the phase. Okay, he's not working anymore.
One step can start in ET2.
One by himself?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. Unless he's no.
He has to have some unit with him.
There's a construction table, Mitch. It says you need for an ET2, you need either 2 or 3 steps of engineers, or you need an engineer and a non-artillery, non-HQ step.
Okay.
And then sometimes it's finished in 0 turns, so at the end of your turn, and some is finished in 1 turn.
All right, how much? What does everyone have for fuel? So
It's
marked under the headquarters.
Yeah,
you look under the headquarters. Yeah.
3. Who? Ugh. We go a 0 for them. That's terrible. Where's Panzer Group West? Where will I find their headquarters to see what the?
It's.
You have to look for the core headquarters, right? The first.
Well, the army. There's a number of units that are tagged as being part of the army level.
So the army has 4.
For Panzer Group West? Okay. Yeah.
It's not a ton of units moving there, so you can probably pull fuel for a couple of units.
Do we have an engineer there? Yes, we do. Okay. Oh, this is terrible.
It's beautiful. We love the chaos.
Michael, with the reinforcement units, Michael Simon, I'm not sure how far they can move. We have to check. I will look it up.
Hey, Michael Simon.
Yeah.
Michael.
Any thoughts on? Can we move that infantry way over in Lasay or not yet? Or is it bound by that tiger or whatever it is?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do have a question for the group about that. And that is, so 2 weeks ago, Michelle pointed out that the Panzerjägers need an adjacent infantry, leg unit adjacent to it. There's an abandoned piece. Is anyone real familiar with that rule?
Yeah, there is a rule that you gotta have your AFV with an infantry or adjacent to it. I'm gonna find that. He's correct on that.
I can't remember if it's infantry or just a unit from the division. You'll find it.
It's only for the Germans.
Yeah. It's an anti-abuse rule.
Do you have the rule number real quick, Clay?
I gotta find it. Once I find it, I'll give it right over to you.
So maybe we could break off some units and leave just what we have to have there.
Yeah. Because good question, Mitch, because I was just about to ask something about that myself.
Let's see. Let me get to my thing.
Or we can just abandon it.
That's another question, too.
And if I remember right, the flak units have automatic full fuel, right? They work for free.
That's correct.
Yeah, thank God. All right, they're going to be coming off. Who put these guys in the front line?
Was all we had.
I know. Bad choice. They're far more valuable as artillery.
Yeah, otherwise there were only Luftwaffe infantry there.
All right, so I got to figure out how to move this guy over there. Let's think about this. Can he get over there? Do some math here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, he can get there. All right, we might be redeploying a few forces here. Where are the German engineers? That's the other question. Find everything is tough. Okay. Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, we got to fix a lot of these problems. All right, I'm getting it. There's all kinds of silliness we got to fix.
Hey, Michael, Simon, this is Mitch. I got to step away for a minute. If you find an answer on that,
Okay.
I might just check in with you. Okay.
I'm still looking.
This is going to be in the series rules versus the games.
Yeah, it's in Atlantic. It's no, it's in the regular.
It's in the GoSS rules.
It's in the GoSS. I think it's in the front, looking like 4 or something.
Okay.
I think the
Rather
intention
weird.
of the rule was that they should be sticking together to the infantry, that they cannot move far into enemy territory or something. I think there was something stated there.
Maybe it's on the AFV. Let's see.
I'll let you look. All right, I'm trying to find all the engineering stuff we need to do here. I think I'm slowly finding some stuff here. All right, so we're going to build out a place marker. Whoop, wrong thing. Oh, shit. How do I dare? Oh my gosh, I'm actually disconnected from the server.
Are you?
Yeah, let me come back in. All right, so I have to close mines, right?
Let's look this way.
All right.
Okay, so.
Okay.
-3, 4.
I'll be back in 5.
Okay, it's letting me in. Okay, sure. There we go. Finally found myself. Okay, so we're going to start a entrenchment here. Boop. Which makes him mark moved. I'm just marking anybody who's involved in a engineering activity. I just mark the move, so they don't accidentally move later. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
Where are the rest of the engineers? That's considered part of OKW also? Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm finished with the second parachute core, and then Michael, Simon, and me, you can have a look at the reinforcements coming up from off-map.
There's no movement on the strategic map this turn.
No, but 2 units arrived already.
Yeah, good.
But I don't know about the fuel status. So, like,
they were fueled when they arrived, wasn't they? We fueled them.
Yeah, if you talking about they entered the map itself from off map.
Yeah,
they're considered fully fueled the entire day.
Also, when they are arriving by leg and by rail.
Yep.
Well, no one technically arrives by rail now, but yeah, once you enter the map, you're considered fully fueled for one day.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Where are the rest of the engineers? There's nowhere near enough engineers out here. Where'd they all go? Are they dead? There's one.
Here it is. Now I'm looking at the old rules 9.6.4. I got to go check back. Let me see the other rules for the GoSS. 9.6.4.
Point 4?
Well, I'm reading the old rules,
so
I'm trying to coordinate them back to these rules now.
Because it only goes up to 9.6.2.f. So
let's see because I had to go back to the old rules because I know it better where they are. Now coordinate it with this one. So it's called German mech units and leg formation, and that is part of. What section is this? It's under the command section. All right, so the command section. Okay, so 9.3.
9.3.4.
You got it. That's it.
There we go.
9.3.
Yeah.
.4a.
Oh yeah, buried there.
Mm-hmm. Took a lot of searching, but found it.
So they're just basically add a supply if they're not adjacent to a leg unit. It just keeps you from abusing the rule or abusing the unit. All right, try to find all the engineers here in this sector. Got a couple. Oh, that's a recon unit.
What's the verdict?
What'd you say, Mitch?
So it's counted to be out of supply if they're basically abandoned.
And how many units do you have to buy them?
Just a single leg unit.
Could you break that down into some smaller units?
Or it's just out of supply, so it.
And it's got
Oh,
no
it just
fuel
sits there.
anyways.
Oh,
Technically, it would be an on-hand supply, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you ought to move them like twice since you were withheld from moving them the first turn.
And there's some chatter about this reinforcements. If you look under the reinforcement rule, I think it talks about how they come in on full supply. If you want a rules reference, just going to find what rule the reinforcements are under. 21. It's like riding a bicycle, guys. Slowly, I'm going to remember this stuff. Yeah, 21.0 reinforcements. Unless the rules state otherwise, all reinforcements are in general supply for 3 full game turns, normal fuel state for the remainder of that game day at no cost in fuel points and not counting towards any limits for other HQs. They're considered supported and in any mode you want.
Oh.
So Mitch, what should we do with this battalion?
Keep him with his brothers and just move him up. I think just move him, just reattach him back up here with the rest of them.
Okay.
Keep that divisional integrity or that regimental integrity.
943.
Which one?
I'd say like move him here.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd move. I mean, since you were prohibited from moving them last turn because of a rules interpretation, I think you ought to just, put them up there with them and then move them as appropriate.
2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. All right. So he's abandoned, and then for those 2 motorized units in 5th Fallschirmjäger, 5th Fallschirmjäger.
Yeah, they are fully fueled, as Michael Hershey said when they entered the map. So I moved them along the road.
Okay.
I just wrote it. So they full movement in the afternoon, and during the night they are halved unless we move them full, and then they are fatigued, which might be an option.
Oh, good catch on the primary road.
Yeah, it's double, so 24 hexes.
Thank you.
But the fun part is you have to do traffic police because the horses are slower than the mechanized units, but the horses don't need fuel next turn. The horses are this 9 movement point units.
What's the fuel for the 86 core? Oh, here it is. It's up here. 3. Okay.
Something.
just got to decide what to do with these idiots that are over here.
I haven't noticed. Are the Germans moving? Or are they still talking?
No, they're moving.
I'm cleaning up all the construction stuff in my area, which
Gotcha.
includes the 86 course. So I'm trying to find everything that was marked, and then
Yeah, so some are already done. So the second parachute core is finished. Movement.
Can I ask a quick question about that reinforcement rule?
yeah.
Would that fueling of situation have applied to units, say, like this Panzerjäger 353 when it moved the first turn?
No, they started on the map already.
Thank you. I didn't know what their status was, if they were considered reinforcements or if they were okay.
But I have to look up the rule about staying fueled.
Oh, that's a comfortable looking seat you got there, Hannah.
Which one?
The Recaro, is that comfort? Is that nice? Your seat, your chair, it looks nice.
Yeah, the seat. We have lots of home office work, and then I thought I needed an office chair, and it's comfortable. That's true. I bought it on a Black Friday sale.
Well, it's got a cool name. I remember when I was a kid, those were the seats you wanted in your Camaro.
Yeah, it's actually from the same company. So the car chair company. That's true. So Michael, I will answer this.
Do the 6 Airborne have any artillery? On map, I'm trying to see where its artillery is. Maybe they don't have any?
Isn't it out at sea?
Oh, there it is. I see it. It's got 2 little 2-factor guys.
So you cannot examine the enemy stack.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
They're hidden.
So, German commanders, OKW, I'm thinking of a counterattack on the paratroop units that had advanced into Bavent. We have permission to attack.
Can you just give me the flash? Let me back out a little bit. See what this is. I want to just see what you're talking about.
Well.
Oh, I see. Way over there. We've talked about that. Yeah, a fair bit. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting conversation. I think you and Jonas ought to talk about that for a second.
Initially, I think there was only 1 unit, which would be interesting, but maybe 3 units.
Because this, and this could all counterattack. And
what are the what do you see?
You will be halved if you're attacked from this hex because it's a marshal.
Well, it would be PA marked. He can move somewhere different.
Okay, and then you have even fewer hexes where you attack from, and will be punished even more by his artillery.
Well, the thing is, they're only company-sized units, so their ability to bring in artillery fire is somewhat limited.
But this hex will be able to spot this hex.
Well, only if you stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess these can spot. This hex could be spotted, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I think it's dangerous. Well.
What's his defensive artillery situation? Walk me through that.
Even if a medium mission can be called in, they're only allowed 3 batteries. And, I mean, the 6 Airborne has, in most, I think, 3 to begin with, and they're all little tiny ones. Well, I guess there's probably core units that can reach though.
But don't forget those 3 defensive shifts from General Gale.
Oh, I hate him. Never mind. I hate him. Yeah.
I think he ought to have rolled for his survival last turn.
Well, only if he was adjacent.
Okay, so the shifts.
He has to be part of the attack to have to potentially die. He's just sending radio communications and runners.
But some leaders need to be adjacent.
Yeah.
And not him, within 3 hex.
Okay.
If he's stacked with his headquarters within 3 hex.
All right, I'm going to undeplete this unit for just a minute because I can't see what this is. OKW 122R. Okay.
Yes, the artillery was very aggressively placed along that front.
I want to flip it. What is he? So he's motorized on the back. Okay. He's got to get the hell out of there. That's just a really bad place to be. It's sort of interesting, right? This whole 86 cores is a sideshow. It has nothing to do at all with the victory conditions of the scenario.
No. The thing is, if the Allies advance adjacent to the river,
Yeah.
there will be a bunch of German units that are released early. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh, so we should lure the Allies to chasing us to the river.
Exactly.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's my overall plan. So please forget that, Allied team.
We would try to do that.
Don't chase us.
Question on that: do we have to be on the east of the river?
No,
Or
adjacent to the
adjacent
river.
to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, anywhere adjacent to the river. Wow. Okay, good to know.
So let them come.
So you're saying if we're adjacent to the river down here as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But of course, those German divisions that are released, they come from south of France, and
It might take a while. Is that what
take
you're
a
saying?
couple of days before they arrive. And even 2 German panzer divisions are released early, but 10 days before the time they were historically released, I think. Okay.
Now Mitch is learning the game. Mitch, you had a unit that was fatigued. If it's a mech unit, it cannot undo its fatigue if it's adjacent to us, just in case.
Okay. I don't think I did that anywhere, or maybe I did. Oh, that wouldn't be me.
And some units from the 17th SS are not mech, so they are leg.
And also, you can always dismount if you run out of gas and don't ever look like you're going to get some. It reduces your, what is it? Doesn't it reduce your attack factor or defense factor by 1? I think, but you get to at least run around.
Your PR goes down by
PR
1.
is the PR lose. You lose 1 PR.
And attack and defense also. But like mechanized anti-tank units and so on, like 12 movement anti-tank units cannot dismount. I think it's just infantry, mech infantry or mod infantry.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult to drag a anti-tank gun around.
Well, but horses. Not so hard.
which I switch some entrenchment building to the normal ET2 ones.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I probably didn't. Yes. Right on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hopefully this system will start kind of making some visual sense to me. It just seems like there's roads everywhere.
Wait till you play Vok on Rhine. That's a brutal map.
Yeah.
There are roads everywhere. That's the challenge with this map.
Rails and constricted terrain.
I'm playing with a buddy of mine, and I'm the Germans, and just trying to move through that terrain is just brutal. It's just constricted terrain, and barely any roads.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And mud. I've been dealing
A friend
with.
of mine said, if there's roads everywhere, there's roads nowhere, sort of analogy.
The roads are good. You want the roads. Well,
Yeah.
we want the roads.
Right. Those are the primary and the secondaries, right? Those are the ones you want. But you really want the primaries.
We'll take anything that gets us across and just rips you guys apart.
Are there bridges on secondaries? That
Sure.
can blow?
Yeah, you can blow those.
So
You can blow any bridge on a stream except for a stream. You can't blow a stream.
Okay. Is there a bridge? I just can't quite make out on this map. On if we go to, I'll give you the hex number, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is. There's not one in 3809, is there?
3809.
That's a stream, right? Yeah.
No, that's a
Yeah.
There's nothing there. Okay. All right.
A small point, Mitch. This artillery you moved from the 265th Division cannot stack with the tanks on the road, even if there are no fuel. They occupy the road. No, I think maybe they can stack. But you have to end your movement on that text.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Do the horses actually use the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they block the road too.
They poop on it too.
Well, we might have to think about giving me some fuel next turn.
There is one rule that was brought up on Facebook that I don't like. It's about the mech unit being on the road. And even though you say it's not on the road, you can't pass through it with another mech unit. You have to stop.
Unless it's in the clear and then you pay the 1.5 points to drive off the road to avoid the traffic jam.
So the problem I have with that rule is, let's say you have all your mech units on the road guarding it in entrenchments.
Yeah.
With infantry. If you want to go down that road, you would have to stop at every hex then, based upon that.
Using mech road movement. You can also just do off-road movement, of course.
Yes. But wouldn't you think that if you're entrenched with your mech units and infantry, you're actually off the road? You're not actually on the road with your entrenchments?
Yeah.
And
that's
you can dismount the infantry.
The argument for the problem is, how can you figure out the intent? And let's be honest, if you're that close to the front line, why are you driving around like 50 miles an hour? Something's not right? So.
Well, I think where it really breaks down, though, let's just say 4th Armored is out of fuel. They are bingo on fuel, and they're on a road.
Yeah.
There's no way they ran out of fuel and stopped on the road. They would be off the road on a herringbone, and the other unit should be able to move through using mech movement. As the rules state, though, if that unit with no fuel is on a road hex, they're on the road. That's where I struggle with it in Lucky Forward. They would just never stop. on the road.
It's here also. We have some units with 0 fuel on the road. That's true. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they wouldn't be. That's where you just got a house rule and say, look, these guys have no movement. They have no ability to move. They're on the side. The other guy's coming through.
And how we used to play with the board game, we used to turn our units, our mech units, sideways to know these mech units are not on the road. And so you knew when you came down the road, you're passing right through them because they're not on the road.
I'm down conceptually.
Oh, well, I don't want to change the rules on
Well,
this
no,
thing.
I
It's just a
I mean,
rule
just
that
as an idea.
I don't like about it. That was it.
I find it rarely is an issue if you've plotted your stuff. In fact, you can make an argument. It's actually easier to move your leg units first and then deal with the mech movement, just because leg guys don't care. It just kind of cleans up the clutter. But all right, these are all. Is he a horsey? He's a horsey too. We got to move all. I'm just trying to flip every one of these guys over. He's probably motorized, so we probably won't move him.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Simon. Units down by piers, are you going to move those forward?
They actually already have been moved forward.
Oh, they have. Okay. They're just somehow got marked unmoved.
Yeah, I'm not sure how.
Some of mine did too, and I had to remark them as moved, and okay, it's all good.
Trying to find all the horse artillery I can find. Nope, not horse. See horsey? He's motorized. They gave the Luftwaffe motorized shit. That's hilarious. I assume all the SS got motorized. Yep. Okay. Is that motorized? Yep. All right. Well, I think I'm ready to work in this sector here. I got everybody marked for construction, and we're going to try to do some movements here. So we got to do any bridges to blow. Not over here yet. All right, so we can do some mech movements. How do I get that over here? We need that big time.
It's nice to zoom out on the map and see the lay of the land.
I think I read about a rule that some Hakus have 2 steps, and then you can deplete your Haku by removing 1 step. When you stack it with a depleted unit, you can transfer the step, I think, to refill a troop from the division.
Your rear guard, not rear guard, I forgot what they're called again. Echelon.
Yeah, the security guys.
Yes, can deplete.
Both are true. Both things are true. You could spit off a step from a headquarters to help somebody.
Yeah. Michael, Simon, did you see my message? I wrote you something.
I did not. Let me look.
So just
we all saw it though. We all read it. It's been intercepted. Now we know all the plans.
Nice.
Ultra.
And after movement, you can remove your fatigue markers, but only for the units not moved. And no mech moon units next to the enemy. Leg ones here. Can
What is General Roberts at the 11th Armored Division? What's his benefit? Does he just give a free shift? Is that his deal?
General Roberts.
Over here, just west of Khan, near Othi.
checking it. Okay. It seems he is just a normal leader. So he has no special rule, I think.
All right, so he throws a shift as an attack he's part of.
Oh, it's Roberts or what?
Yeah.
Roberts.
11th armor.
Okay, then it's 1 hex bonus advanced. After ground attack to all units subordinate to the 11th Armor Division, if he's stacked with the HQ. 1 hex bonus advance.
This is just a mess over here.
No counterattacks, fellas, that I see.
Michael Simon.
Yeah, which Michael?
Michael Simon.
Yeah.
Would you consider whether or not that artillery with the 275ths near the where you're doing that construction, it can do a 1 hex shift, maybe pull it back a little bit from the line to maybe delay itself?
They actually just moved there from.
Oh, it's just the lack of the movement. Mark, I got you. Thank you. You know those what are they? Okay, the 336s down there in your last little wing. Those guys have terrible morale.
They're Ostruppen. They're Georgians.
Oh, when we were fighting the other day, I was like, really? 3?
They're good. You know what? As a combat reserve, they're just as good as anybody else. And they're just as good as digging entrenchments.
Fair enough. Good point.
Okay.
I'm going to take a shower.
All right. Okay. Panzer Group West. I'm going to need some of that fuel for these army level units, unless I move them somewhere else.
Yeah, I gave her one.
Oh, okay, cool. I put the things down on the table. When you get home, you said you were going to shower, but is your room the way you want it to be to start the week?
Jeff, is that your family speaking on the...
Yeah, sorry about that.
It was an interesting puzzle, just the setup. We spent some time in a setup, and it was a really interesting puzzle. And now we see if it's our assumptions hold.
Mm-hmm. Like I was saying before, if you zoom out and you look at the map, you kind of see where everything's starting to fall apart and everything that's holding.
I think the area where we are most comfortable with troop strengths is the second SS Corps area. But they just experienced this British attack, so they are still in the area.
I don't know what the British did down there. What did the British do?
They tried to flank around Caen.
Yeah.
And for a short time, they occupied Hill 112. It's here. And with the sixth hex vantage point. And they tried to flank on the west of Caen. But it was a tough fight. It was called Operation Epsom.
Mm-hmm. Those bridges should have been blown. Looks like they got across. All right, there is a couple of engineers here in that second SS area. Do you care to have an ET2 in the middle of the clear? If so, we can pop one open.
Yeah. I think Jordan would like it.
Okay, on the way. Actually, two engineers. Does that do it in one turn or two?
I think in one turn.
Two
I think it's quick.
zero.
Is it a zero?
I think it's quick construction.
It is.
2 steps. All right, so that's, no one can hurt him. Can we just flip it now, or you want to deal with it later?
Can flip it now if you don't move them anyway.
Yeah, I've got a mark moved. All right, any other engineers hiding anywhere? Oh, there's another one. Oh, was someone doing the work down here?
Haven't you found an engineer without work? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's marked moved. I don't think he's been moved.
No.
Did anyone move? They move these forces?
Jonas, maybe.
Jonas?
Did you the second SS? Jonas, did you move the second?
Oh, Jonas was on a call.
Ah, okay.
All right, we'll inquire. All right, I'll go
Sorry,
through.
I'm back again. What do
Did you
say?
move anyone in the second SS yet?
Yeah, I made some decisions there and put on placed the construction and have moved those units that have are marked as moved. So yeah, here is the core line for you. The core
okay. Because I don't know if you moved. Did you move this engineer here? Because it was an IP. I was messing around with this a little bit, so I had him build an ET, and I wasn't sure what you did here. I have some thoughts on this. Do you want to pop into a private room for a second?
Okay.
Let's go to room number 1, or room. What room do we have? Room number 1, I guess. Okay.
That breakout.
I heard someone eating potato chips. They sounded pretty good.
So you went to Game On, Clay, and which game did you play there?
No, I did not go to Game On. Not this year. Jeff, who's on here, that's his convention he runs.
Oh, okay.
And
nice. So the German convention, the wargaming convention, is before the pandemic. There were about 100 persons there. So it's the annual German convention, Hexacon it's called.
Nice.
And Game On, how many players are there normally? So like several hundred or less than.
He caps it at a number. Jeff, are you on?
He's mute still.
I think he has it between 120 and 150, and that's where he caps it.
Yeah. And we only had small. We had a small convention this year because the big one was cancelled, with about 20-30 players. It was more family-like, and it was quite nice. We played Lucky Forward December scenario. but this is really a storm against entrenchments and fortified lines. So this is tough going. But it was great to see.
We were just talking about this before while you guys were in the breakout room, and Matt's brought it up. Playing this game right here, this system, it's great to play with a lot of people. It's making it more easy to digest, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm. Fully agree. Yeah, I think we played with 6 or 8 people. I think 6.
How many days was it, the convention that you did?
4 days, but we didn't get very far, of course. But everyone had a good time. And Matthias Hadel in Germany, he likes to play GoSS too, and he's also a proofreader of the rules. He enlarged the Lucky Forward maps, and it looked even nicer and enhanced stacking. But the area required was great, as it was large.
Now, a question for you: when you play, you wake up, have breakfast, start playing, let's say at 9:30 in the morning, and then you go to lunch, come back, continue playing, go to dinner, come back, and continue playing until maybe 1 in the morning, and then go to sleep. Is that your regimen?
That was my normal regimen, but now we have mixed groups, which I think mostly want to finish after dinner, maybe at 8 or 9 in the evening. But usually we started with 9 o'clock, had some quick lunch and dinner, and ended in the night, as you said, at 12 or 1 o'clock. That was the usual way. But now some players said, well, I have lost concentration and I don't want to restart after dinner. So then we sometimes only play until 8 o'clock or so.
And you'll just get like a light game in, or you just completely stop?
Yeah, most of the time I think we stop, or maybe someone puts a light game on. That's true. But so a friend of mine said he lost concentration, let's say after dinner, and then as he's part of the whole game, then the whole game stops a bit. But usually we play, and I heard in Consum World they played this bulge game in shifts. So one group was playing in the night and one was playing during the day. This was like
in shifts.
So
they were doing like 24 hours.
Yeah, there was a time for trumpets play test, and they played it in shifts. Christian told me who was there. So they had a night group, so they had lots of play testing going on, and they had the night group and the day group.
That's great. I love it.
I think Hershey might be starting to move a few units.
We see him.
Okay, just want to let you know what was going on.
One of the conventions I was at in St. Louis, we did Atlantic Wall, and we did that morning, had our breakfast, started, did lunch, played, dinner, played, and we played until maybe 1:30 in the night, and then we went to sleep and did it all over again for, I believe it was 4 days.
Yeah, cool. And you played this Atlantic Wall game?
Mm-hmm. But I was the Axis. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And how long did you proceed? So you achieved several game days, or was it still?
So we did amphibious on Vassal, and so we started with everything on the map already when we started. And I believe we got through, I want to say 9 days.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
I believe it was between 7 to 9 days that we were game days that we were able to achieve.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler, who had to drop out, he was one of the players as well.
Also from the German side or Allied side, or
he was on the Allied. He was on the Allied side. I've always liked playing the German side because of you're in this defense mode and you're trying to figure out how to slow down the Allies, and I always found that challenging.
It's very hard.
Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to pick and choose when you can counterattack at the right moment and get back again.
And in the early days, it's still easier to counterattack, right? Compared to the late game situation.
I've got a question. There's a engineer unit just north of Cannes. It says 16 Pioneer. I assume that's part of the Luft. It's a Luftwaffe engineer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
It's a breakdown
right.
from the Luftwaffe.
So the Luftwaffe draws its fuel from the core, right? Because it's a leg unit.
That's true. Yes.
And the core's fuel value is 4. Okay. So let's see. That would be 1.5. There's no easy way to get there. All right, he's going to have to move full. He's going to count 1 against my core here. All right, so that's 1.5, 3, 5. The mech movement begins.
Mm-hmm.
We were just discussing conventions.
Yeah. Like gaming conventions that you go to, or conventions and in practices?
War game conventions that we go to.
I want this
So
out of there.
I wanted to go to one.
I want this out of there.
I went to Constant World, I think 5 years ago or so. This was cancelled last year, right? Or did it take place? The Constant World convention?
Not sure.
I think it was in the autumn in Tempe, Arizona.
And
yeah, I think it was like August or September, I think.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I played the Third World War from GBW, which just arrived in a new edition here. Did you also get it? From Compass.
I played that back in the 80s.
Yeah, I played it in the 80s too.
I did not get the newer version.
This is a nice new version, but I still have the original 4 games. Didn't sell them.
I have the original. I'm thinking about selling it.
But now is the time.
Yeah, it's
or
not.
Maybe it's even a bit late.
With me.
Yeah, I like the air-ground interaction. You had to not gamble, but you have to carefully allocate your air units. And I like the system. It was, in a way, simple to play, but also challenging with different phases and so on. But this is, so what, by the way, maybe a question, I'm still struggling a bit, maybe you experienced it before, why there is a differentiation between hold the position, also in general combat, limited retreat and full retreat. So maybe I haven't seen the nuances yet, but I still have to. This I think it's a new complexity. It got into the game and from
Yeah, I think the difference, you understand hold the position and full retreat. That's pretty clear. What's the point of the limited retreat? And it's sort of this weird subtlety. It's if you only want to retreat one hex. Because maybe you only want to go back one hex and give up only one hex of ground. So you're willing to retreat, but only the one hex.
But
that's the difference.
But you can take discretionary as retreat and also as fatigued.
Yeah.
So why call it limited?
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise you can anyway build your mix of retreat and fatigue.
Well, again, because let's say your armor, you can retreat up to 4 hexes. Maybe you got completely spanked, right? So you want to do maybe you want to retreat 1 hex and take some fatigues. I mean, it gives you some choices as to what to do versus always have to run back the full distance.
But you don't have to run back the full distance either or, meaning that the tank has to retreat 4 hexes back, and I decide to only go 2 hexes and I'll take 2 fatigue. If I had a 4 discretionary against them.
Because conducting the full retreat, you have to retreat up to 1 hex. After that, you resolve the hits in the following order. Step losses, up to max step loss, then fatigue. So if you choose to go a full retreat and you only retreat 1 hex, but yet remember, for full retreat, you have to go up to your maximum retreat. That's the key for each discretionary hit, up to your ability. So, and then after that, you take hits. And then if there's still more, then you take fatigue. So full retreat is, hightailing it out of there, and it could be bad. Does that make sense?
Okay, I have to look it up again.
All right, what is the 12th SS fuel? 3. It's just terrible. Well, since someone paid for it, it's pretty bad.
Fair enough. Everything's relative.
Indeed. What is that unit part of? 225th. Okay, I see. That could go part of that. Oh, it's part of. You can kind of. Okay.
Hanno?
Yeah.
How many ET3s did we have in the setup? Do you remember?
I can look it up, but I don't remember.
I thought it was 2 or 3.
Oh, it was more. I think it was 8
more.
or 9.
Scenario 4. So we have 6 ET3s in your sector and 2 in my sector. And we start new ET3 placement at 4th of July.
Is that? Okay.
6 you should have, unless you lost 1.
I'm just counting when we get the next one, but it's stated in the rules, in the scenario rules, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And the 4th?
4th, yes.
Okay. Good.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to build an entrenchment 2 or 3, or entrenchment 2, you cannot be seen adjacent to an enemy unit, correct?
Unless you're in a...
Or you in an IP or in covering terrain.
Correct.
So, like, if you're in a open ground, like, I'll give you an example. Here next to Khan here, these guys that are to the just east of Khan, they're in an IP, so they can expand it to an ET.
Unless you're adjacent to an vantage point or a fort or an entrenchment, isn't it? I think there's something about that.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, 47th Corps and second SS Panzer Corps is done, I think. But Michael, if you want to make some adjustments along the core border.
Yeah, well, let me finish. I'm wrapping up what I'm going to do with the SS here. I've got a game plan now.
Oh, sounds fantastic.
I finally figured out what the hell I'm going to do. Of course, they only have the 3, so I got that guy's got to go there. That guy's got to go there.
Like GoSS is my favorite system, along with Campaigns for North Africa. So those two are one of my favorite systems.
This system is really cool and feels realistic. And campaign, I have to get into it, but I wanted to view your series. You are logging all your moves, right?
Yes. I'm gonna. I like to record more the combat part, the movement in combat.
Yeah.
And get that on YouTube. And we're gonna
come
up with the next one that we're doing, and so I'll record that and put it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Clay and I are on the same team.
Yeah, and it's nice, and I really want to watch it, Mitch. I have to do it.
We got destroyed, although we took a lot of hurricanes out. That might be worth something.
Yes.
But that air war thing was a cluster of death.
The one thing I brought up with the group about Campaigns for North Africa that I have an issue with that slows down the game is the breakdown. Because each hex has a breakdown value. So besides a movement value, you have to check for breakdown value. And that can slow down the game because you have to check to see if your tanks or your trucks break down.
It's so tedious.
And it would be a lot easier if you just moved a certain distance and you just roll the dice and it'll tell you the percentage, but it doesn't work that way. So that's one aspect of the mechanic that I would like to change.
So you don't count it up, like you said, 8 hexes, and then you have a total value. No, you have to roll for every hex.
No, so the hexes that you move through, each one of those hexes has a certain value of a breakdown value. You got to count up that breakdown value, then go to a chart that shows you where or how many units are going to break down depending on your dice roll. That is a tedious process.
Because the breakdown isn't automatically twice what the CPA allowance. It's very confusing to calculate those two values simultaneously.
It just slows down the game, and I'm one for detail. I want as crunchy as can be. However, it's tedious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a little coding beyond me, but it'd be nice if we could just get the units to automatically calculate those figures as they moved on the board.
Clay, I got to drop, but I think we're good for US. Looks like I bet you next weekend we're doing our night moves and all that good stuff.
Jeff, question for you on your game on. Hanu wanted to know how many units, because you cap it. How many people do you have usually?
Well, I've been capping it at 150, Clay, but our new amazing hotel, we really spaced out. It was so cool to have 2 tables for a monster. Then I put a side table for charts, and you got another side table. So I'm going to probably cap it at 100 next year, maybe 110, and definitely kind of squish the Euro gamers out. I'll give them a couple rooms for open play and stuff, because it's cool, because there's been so many crossovers. There's so many new war gamers because we've always been in that big room. So long story short, probably about 110, and I'm thinking about adding a week to it is when I get some more info. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys know first for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks. So the German convention is usually 1 week. That's nice. And it's not restricted, but usually there are 100 people there, mostly Germans, of course, but some Dutch people, or several Dutch, some Italians, some French, but mostly German and Dutch people.
What time of the year?
It's usually in May. But it was cancelled the last 2 years due to this pandemic. But hopefully this year. But let's see. But 1 week is nice, so you can really set up a big campaign game.
Maybe I might go next time.
We played like East Front series. We played Twilight in the East. We played Offense à Outrance, the both with Mike Resch games, and he was there too several times. And GoSS, we played Wacht am Rhein there. So always trying to bring up a monster game to the convention.
Excuse me.
But really, I think it's a good multiplayer scenario. In a way, it's a bit one-sided, of course, but everyone has a sector and a specific front. I think you said it, Clay, that Doug Johnson also recommended this scenario, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Mm.
Which one? This one?
Yes, because I told him we're going to have this many players, and I asked him what's the best scenario to play. He said this one would be the best one.
Well, yeah, because everyone's in the game from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know, one observation from where I'm sitting, it would seem like if there were like small victory conditions that were defined by taking certain places by certain day, it might give some incentive to less important areas of the front. You know, like if I hold, La Haye, DuPont, by a certain turn, that might make it a more interesting endeavor.
I agree, Mitch. That would bring a little bit more interest into it.
And then I'd have like, oh, this is my goal. This is what I'm trying to achieve in this area.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I agree.
However, that would take a lot of...
So as overall commander, I can put up some victory points for you. To next
It's hard to know where you're doing well when your ass is getting kicked so badly everywhere.
I will tell you.
That is a truth bomb right there. Like I'm trying to decide, okay, W, to abandon this position here, so I can shift them over somewhere more useful over here. It's like there's it's not there's the little Dutch boy. There's not enough room in the dike to keep everybody going.
Yeah, you're knee deep in water for sure.
What is Hasano? Somebody sent a message here. I got to see one.
Yeah, it was just for Michael's time. Army sector.
Just not enough troops.
Me and Minch jumped on early this week. I wanted to walk through combat because he was getting frustrated with the system, and I don't blame him. Once you don't know the system, it's frustrating. And so I wanted to walk him through the combat again so he gets a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
And adjacent defenders have to be a battalion in strength, right? Or 2 steps, which is it? Or both?
Nope. Any size.
Any size. Okay.
Any size.
Michael Simon, you play monster games a lot?
Those are almost all that I play. Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think you and I have exchanged comments back and forth about Battle for Normandy, if I remember correctly.
Wow, that goes back a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I started out as a Europa player, so we actually played twice Clash of Titans, which is 2 4x8 tables put together, T-bone together. That was fun. And I played a lot of Monster War games. I actually currently have all of the East Front series set up on my gaming table at home.
Now, you played Europa. What do you think of the TSWW system?
I know you're a fan. So I'll kind of parse this.
Speak your mind. Doesn't matter.
Europa, TSWW is built on the foundation of something that is completely outdated, and it doesn't really add it utilizes Tom Johnson's combat value, whatever the acronym was, but it's the combat value modifier multiplier. And at the end of the day, Europa, there's no getting around. Europa is built on a game engine from the 70s. It's basically a step up from Avalon Hill Stalingrad. And the combat factor, some of the pieces that are built into the game mechanics, and there's no getting around that. And when Bannerman, while his intentions were good, when he partnered with Menka basically took Tom Johnson's old Master Europa combat value multiplier, and they applied that to Europa with new maps and some other minor concepts, and that's what it is. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really add that much to the system, because at the end of the day, it's still Europa. And yeah, they added more chrome in it, but that's what Europa is all about. It's who could out chrome someone else in their designs and whatnot. And at the end of the day, that's what it's still Europa. It just got a different shell on it, but it's still Europa. It's got a little bit more crunch. The logistics are a little bit more. I'm sorry, not logistics. The game mechanics are modified, and there's a little bit that's put into it. But again, it's still Europa. It's kind of like the standard combat series is still basically Avalon Hill.
Okay, I like your take.
Again, I know that you really like it, and I know that you don't like Europa. And to be candid with you, I think Europa is a horribly broken system, and I'm living proof of it, having played Clash of Titans not once but twice. I'm probably, as the Soviet player, I'm probably one of a handful of war gamers that have ever actually conquered Berlin. So it's a broken, flawed system, and I just don't see Bannerman doing enough to really bring it into the 20th century. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. What I always say is, if you enjoy a system and if you enjoy Europa, then awesome. God bless you. And enjoy it. And don't ever let anyone tell you anything different.
Yeah.
That's why when I hear people tell, oh, this game's this and this and that, I would ask, have you played it? And most of the time they never have. And so you're like, okay, so how do you have any opinion on the game? Second, even though I hear an opinion, I still want to play it to see what I feel of that system.
Yeah.
At the end, and hopefully I get more people who want to play it, and then I have more people to play it with.
Yeah, and for me as a positive, I really like Bannerman's maps. I mean, I really like the fact that he has taken that game system, made it, tweaked it, and he's fully supporting it. And he's on a legitimate production schedule versus those clowns at HMS. And hey, that's cool. And if someone came up to me and said, hey, you know what, let's sit down, let's play the Second World War, I would totally play it. Just for me and my money, for my own game table, I would rather go play. There's other games I would rather play instead. It just wouldn't be my first choice. And, it's a good system, though, at the end of the day.
Now, you just picked up you have the East Front system on your table. Did you get the new rules for the one that came out?
Yes. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of that game system. One of the things that I really like about it is the nonlinear nature of the the play, the procedures. And I really, really, and some people just mentioned it, I really dig the victory point schedule that's there. As the German player, you need to aggressively maintain pace of play and the initiative, and it really drives without necessarily driving, and so it really incentivizes, and I dig that, and I like the modifications that they've made in version 2 so far.
Okay, I need to pick it up. I have the older ones, but I need to pick up the new rule book to see the difference.
Is there any major changes to the series rules?
No, they're at least not in my opinion. I think they're more subtle, but it continues to evolve the system. Because one of the things that I think is genius about this system is that it does a really good job of modeling the chaos, the complexities, and the nuance of the opening stages, in particular Barbarossa, without, if you go and you play Fire in the East, you just get steamrolled as the Soviets, right? And that's just no fun. This game system allows you to actually do things as the Soviets. Sometimes you're driven into doing it, sometimes it's player initiative. And it makes being the Soviets in Barbarossa fun. And when you get into the latter stages of Barbarossa, you actually have some teeth as the Soviets, and you can kind of pack a punch. And if the Germans aren't careful, you can really cut them.
Yeah.
And so the modifications continue to evolve that game system, because at the end of the day, I don't know if a lot of wargamers realize this, but that's actually a really old game system from, I think, like the early 90s, because it was built off of, what is it? Army Group, like the Quad Army Group South games. It's built off of one of those, if I remember correctly.
SBI?
I think so.
I love that system. Where you have the unknown units, you flip them?
Yeah, because that factors into EFS.
It's that Panzer Group Guderian sort of thing. It's so fun to play that even solo, because you don't know. Either way. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, they actually have that's a feature in the EFS systems, is untried units, and there's like militia type units, and there's a couple different ones, and you literally put a whole bunch of them in a cup and you pull them out and you put them on their question mark side until certain things trigger it, and then it might be a 000 unit, it might be like a 226 unit, it could be something slightly stronger.
Maybe an 866 or something, just as like, yeah.
Well,
you can get like a 10 in AGS, I think, one of them.
I guess I don't remember offhand.
I was thinking about Kiev. I love the Kiev game.
Yeah, so you can, it adds a lot of the nuances of the system, add in a lot of variables to it, and it does a good job handling logistics. It does a really good job at abstracting air, and every game I've ever played against opponents is always, even we've played scenarios again and again and again, and every time it's been, with the exception of like you breaking into the Crimea, because that's more of a chess piece thing or a set piece thing. But every game, every scenario we've ever played, it's been different outcomes every single time.
Sounds like a nice group play to come up next to play.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Yes.
And what's the title of that series again?
Eastern series from GMT Games.
They have Typhoon, Army Group North,
Typhoon.
Army Group South.
Barbarossa.
Yeah, all those maps combined are, what is it? The footprint is 9 feet by
It's beautiful.
6.5, I think.
6.5.
Yeah, and then you got to throw in Crimea adds in like a 1.5 foot on the southern sector, or 2 feet add-on on the southern sector. But
now, do you break out the table where it's a 4-foot table and then the 2 foot for not 2 foot but 30 inches? So you have a 6.5 wide table.
I actually have a 9 foot by 6 foot to accommodate the local miniatures that are heavily played for Napoleonics are Avalon Hill's Napoleon's Battles, and that's like what is it? I think it's like a 9 by 6. So I built a 9 by 6 table for it, and then what I did is then I've got I did nice finish edges for it, and so what I did is I kind of floated. I took off the edges on one side, and then I just built extensions for it just along one side, like an extra 6 inches for it, and then I just did a small extension for Crimea as well too. But it's a stretch getting in the middle of that.
That's what I was going to say, because I'm playing games, and the 6-footers are very tough to get to the center.
When we played Clash of Titans, so I'm sure everyone on this game has seen, if not played, Europa, Fire in the East, et cetera, and sooner or later that game typically devolves into 1, 2, or 3 full rows of units stacked from the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea. And Clash of Titans starts off with that, and that entire map had to go on a 4x8 table, and it would be hours and hours and hours of just bending over at a weird angle, just counting, hundreds of stacks, and it was horrible. The saving grace of EFS is that it's not very counter dense once you actually get past the frontier. It's not super counter dense at all. But something like that, for like what we did with Europa, I never want to do that again. That was horrible.
I wonder if Campaigns for North Africa system is better because it's just one counter, which is the division, but everything else is on the spreadsheet.
Yep, I love the one counter business.
So your division's on the map, but your whole spreadsheet is in your hand, where every unit in that division is on that spreadsheet. So you have your tanks, but not only your tanks, different types of tanks, like my Panzer 1s, my Panzer 2s, my Panzer 3s, my Panzer 4Es. All that's on my spreadsheet. But I only have one counter on the map that I just move around.
Nice.
Which is
Very
nice,
cool.
and then you're dealing with TOE. So when you're taking hits and stuff, you're just taking off TOE.
You got basically 7-step units.
Not even, because a division has 3 regiments in there. So you get your 3.
I was talking about like an individual counter, like a battalion would represent. It has 7 steps for
Yes.
some of them 5. Right. Beautiful.
Yes, he's correct. Because each TOE represents, for infantry, about 100 to 150 men. A TOE for guns represents, I believe, 8 guns. And tanks, I believe it's between 5 to 8 tanks when you lose a TOE.
Who makes that, Clay? Who makes that game?
That's SPI.
Oh, is that the original SPI?
Yes.
Yeah,
And what's his name? Richard Berg?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Berg, right.
Are they still remaking Campaigns for North Africa?
I think Decision Games is supposed to be making theirs. I don't know anything about it.
It's going to have significant changes.
Oh, okay.
That's what they like to do.
Yeah, I've always
rebuilt the
wondered.
module on Vassal if you want to check it out.
I've got that. I've got that game. I've never punched it though. I don't have the counters or anything punched or anything. So.
Sell it. It's like $900 now.
Yeah.
Africa?
So Michael, Simon, would it have been easier if in a Europa game, if you had just one counter that represented, and you had the stacks off map? Would that have been easier to play?
They call those core markers in Europa, and we had photocopied sheet, because they actually make a separate side sheet for exactly that, and it's laid out so what your max stacks are and the whole shebang for it. And we had a zillion of those things, but the problem is and I forget how many hexes vertically it is, but so Clash of Titans starts with basically Citadel. And so you got the Kuban, and then you have like the Sea of Azov running all the way up to Leningrad, plus a little bunch of crap up in Finland. That line from the Sea of Azov to Leningrad is I don't know, 50 hexes, maybe more, maybe even 80. It's a lot of hexes, and every single hex is occupied, and it's 2 if not 3 hexes deep along that whole thing. And we actually ran out of core markers with it. So we were dealing with literally hundreds of core markers, and it was, just because there's no fog of war, so you can inspect enemy stacks, and it was just this huge math thing, and it just required you to be bent over at an odd position, even getting up and going over to the corner. It was just, my hamstrings were just killing me at the end of that.
Did anyone of you made or had experience with this Death Ride Kursk game series?
Oh my god! I'm starting the Normandy one. Have you been on the Facebook page for that guy?
I think I saw something like this. Yeah.
I'm playing it now with a buddy of mine.
Kursk or Normandy?
Kursk.
Okay, that one probably has been put through the ringer already. But the Normandy, there's so many errors and rules questions, and it's just my buddy and I, who are willing to do anything, we like super crunchy games. We found like his answers were getting to be just really pissy on his Facebook page, and my buddy's like, you know what, I'm done fighting this game. I said, I agree. So I've been packing it back up.
I have Jaws of Victory on the shelf. I've been tempted to get that started.
So what's your opinion about Curse there, Clay?
That's great. Jaws of Victory is really a great game. Really.
Okay. Thank you,
but I thought of the course, and they had this big combined game of the campaign, right, at Consum World some years ago. Like the whole map and looked interesting. But you said the Normandy one is still open and full of errors, Michael.
Yeah.
I actually bought those, and I popped it open, the first one. I popped it open and looked at that map, and it was a painful experience for my eyes, and so I put it away, and I'm actually looking at the boxes right now.
I knew you were going to say that. That's the issue I have. The box is beautiful. It's got, you got your panzers on the cover and all that stuff, and so you're psyched. You open it up, and then I see clown counters.
Clown?
When counters have all these colorful things, and I noticed that even the new war games that are out there, I call them Skittles or whatever, they feel like children games to me. And it's too colorful, it's too clowny, and this and that. It doesn't feel like an adult simulation type of game. And when I have that, for me, it doesn't pull me into the narrative. It doesn't pull me into the game. I need to be pulled in with some. For me, the look of the game is very important.
100% agree.
And I know Michael just experienced this when he opened up the game. He saw the counters. He's like, this is not working for me. It doesn't pull you in. So this designer, Chris, I would hire the best graphic illustrator ever and say, I need you to make me counters. I need you to make me maps. And just be happy with your system itself.
Well, and the system itself has its own set of issues, but I agree with you. The counters are remarkably stupid. Like all the system counters are just white. Every single one of them white. Yeah. There's just a lot of, it doesn't take advantage of the opportunity to flip a counter. Everything is not back printed for the most part, unless it's mobile.
It's just poorly done. Like if people work for me and did that, I would fire them. I'll go, you're fired. This is what you're bringing to me? This is what my money is being put towards?
Yeah. But at this point, I'm in it just for completeness sake, because that's how I roll. But yeah,
Speaking of games that are an assault on the eyes, it took me a long time. To get around the aesthetic in order to get it on the table and start playing it. And the first probably session or two that I played it, I had a really hard time visually wrapping my head around it. But I will say, Der Weltkrieg is a freaking awesome game system, and once you get past the aesthetic of the maps and you start playing the game, the maps actually really make sense, and that is a fun ass game system.
Michael Simon, I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
I played it and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I own those games for a couple of years.
It's really fun.
I owned them for a couple of years, and I really wanted to play them, but I would look at the map, I'd take it out, I'd look at it, I fucking And then finally one of my buddies was like, dude, let's just play Tannenberg. And so we played Tannenberg and fell in love with it. And it took me about 2 sessions before I finally got over the map thing, and now I don't even think twice about it. But God, I love that system.
The map still is really strange in the mountains, like in Italy and so on, and Romania. This is really hard to see. But otherwise, it grooves on you. So the map is okay after some time.
Yeah,
but
Purple
the
Mountains.
Wow.
Guys, I have to leave now. It's bedtime for Bonzo over here. It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. Sweden is beginning to be sleepy. Yeah.
So how far did you guys get? Because I know we were waiting for Michael.
I'm almost done with my moves here. Or I'm getting close.
Oh, we're still on. Matt's he's on the Allied side, so
yeah, you can take care of things.
Yeah.
I guess we will start with the Allied rest turn next time.
Yeah.
Yes, it seems like it's gonna get to that point because they're not gonna do any attacks.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would agree, because I maybe have 10 minutes, but I also want to not to have it not too late. But maybe then we still have some depletion rolls open, maybe. But otherwise, we can start with elite rest term movement next time.
All right.
Perfect. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
What's
everybody.
going to
Have a
happen
good
with
week.
me and this map here? I'm still working. So
No. You can continue. I'm still here.
Okay. They don't want anyone to lose the save, so.
No. Once you get to your point, and I think you guys are going to roll for depletion on your ammunition.
Yeah, why not? So I can do it for my units, and I'm finished. Yeah.
And then once that's all done and you finish your artillery depletion, I'll save the game on my side.
Yeah.
You've got one roll, Michael, I think.
I do. Let me go ahead and make that real quick.
That's a save.
Yes, that is.
I think there's one down there in Hano's section.
Clay, do you need to have my game up and running? Because I was the one who loaded the file.
No, you can save where you're at if you'd like. And
No, because
as long as somebody started a vlog at the beginning, I suppose.
So yeah, I set up the game and I started the server. Do you need to have that one running?
Well, that's a good question. If he leaves, he loaded this game.
No. You can leave, Lars. The game is still active, and we can save it.
Even though go out and close the server room there.
Yeah, you're fine.
Before you leave, Lars, let me just save it just in case. Let's just make. Let me do this. Okay. All right, Lars. If you leave and it shuts down, we're still good.
we can restart from the morning.
We can.
For the AM turn.
Have a good night, Lars.
Thank you, everyone. See you.
All right, I'm gonna head out as well too. So everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, cheers. Bye bye.
See you. I'm also going. I also going to sleep. Good night,
Xavier.
everybody.
Good night.
Have a nice week.
So what this is? Who's 346? Okay. To figure out whose formations these were.
So, Michael, are you good? Are you fine?
Me?
Yeah, with
I'm
the
getting there.
movement.
I'm getting there.